Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 of Dystabletopia. We'll be moving on to audio recordings only. This way we can improve the audio and the visuals, because before it was just our Discord server. Also, we're playing in person, so there's no real reason to see all of us. We all are hideous. We are in a different location than we normally are. We are in a public library. Not for that long, though, so mind the echo. Okay. Shall we begin?
We're not all hideous. He's just projecting.
Says the most ugly member of our group.
I'll gut you with my witch nose.
I'll choke you out by your Jesus hair.
My Jesus hair and witch nose.
Yes.
Witch nose.
Today we're the people who are playing here today is me, Mahmood Karimi. I'm the dungeon master. We have
Patterson Richards.
Patrick Olgenschlager. If you didn't want me to butcher your name, you should have said yourself. Who are you playing today, Patrick Olgenschlager?
I am playing Rukter, an orc, nobleman,
And alchemist.
and alchemist.
And
I'm Tate Buffman, I'm being Boglin, the super smart goblin tinkerer, and you guys are dead.
he plays a maximum intelligence
Sorry,
tinkerer.
we had him fixed just a little while
Yes,
ago, so
yes.
it sounds a bit different.
He recently just had a visit to the hospital. We got a lobotomy.
Schools are dying, bro.
Silence amongst all of you. He's playing a max intelligence tinkerer, but the player himself is very dumb when it comes to engineering. So there's a lot of disconnect between him and his character. Where he just says, I just make things. I say things of... I think last
There
session...
have been multiple moments in which, when he doesn't know what to do, he will resort to golem tactics of pouncing on somebody and fighting.
Yes. Even when he can simply just make a new weapon, he refuses to.
I don't want it.
It's the principle of it.
Okay, now...
A man has a code.
Let's begin. I want silence out of you and you until it is time. Let's begin.
Baby.
So, Rukter, you open your eyes as you're waking up in the morning. You look around. You're in your silk bed. What kind of bed do you have? Like a water bed or like a cotton or foam?
I have a full-on, custom bed that, you know how there's, queen, king, and all of that? I have an emperor-sized one.
The Emperor's
It's just fucking huge.
It's 5 king-size beds.
And it's got it's got that, thing over top of it with all the, veils and everything, and I wake up and I'm like, and I stand up on my bed and,
I'm going to hold you right there. I'm going to pause you right there. Before you do a big monologue and you don't realize what's happening. You look over to your right side, to your bedside stand, and there is a lamp and a telephone, but no microphone.
and my taxidermied goblin.
No. You look around your bedroom. And things are different.
It's just
But not from how you remember, but because this takes place years in the past. About 6.5 years in the past.
your taxidermy goblin is just there, like,
Your landline phone is on the side of your bed. What do you choose to do?
I take my little nightcap, my bulletproof nightcap. I put it on my head.
It feels soft on the outside, but on the inside there's like a hard, ceramic dome.
it's ceramic steel ballistic fire.
Yeah.
And then
Made from the finest spider silk.
pat my mouth as I wake up, and I get off my bed. I put on my bulletproof suit, bulletproof vest, my bulletproof silk gloves.
Your bulletproof jacket.
My
Your bulletproof three-piece suit with your including bulletproof pants and shoes.
Your entire outfit weighs like 200 pounds alone.
It's pure Kevlar and nylon front to back, and there's like also like lead shielding in
Carbon
the
fiber.
jacket. Yeah,
It's called strength training.
yeah.
You get your bulletproof backpack. That's another 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And then wake up. I get up. I turn on the landline. Oh yeah.
It's both a dialogue, also buttons.
It's very
It's
advanced.
like yes. No, I do not see my breakfast. It was supposed to be on my bedside table, remember? Right. I want you to kill the goblin maid that was in charge of that and hire that deformed guy, the deformed one. Yes. Igor? Oh, no. Anyways. Time to start the day off right. And I'm gonna wait for my breakfast in bed.
Boom, boom. Do you have like a doorbell on the outside of your bedroom?
I'm gonna open up the door. First, actually, I'm gonna look for the peephole.
You see your
There's a
usual.
peephole on every single door.
You see your usual servant Alfonso. A human male. He's wearing a butler's outfit and he's carrying a solid platinum tray.
Alfonso, welcome in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Master Rukter. Here is your breakfast. Hands you your breakfast. What did you order?
I ordered an
Cinnamon Toast
McMuffin.
Crunch.
Egg McMuffin, complete with McDonald's branding logo stamped on top of it.
You're like Donald Trump. You're always afraid of someone poisoning you, so you always go to like the nearest fast food place.
So, an egg McMuffin. I got like a cheesy croissant. I got like
And a Coke.
yeah, Coke, a root beer float, and
A chocolate fountain.
Eight-
Chocolate fountain.
just a milk jug filled to the brim with black coffee. And I just devour that in like a few moments, just a few seconds, and
I like
just like
how, like-
boiling coffee, just chugging it.
I like how like 75% of that breakfast was just drinks.
You're just like.
Just one small egg McMuffin.
I have to lace my stomach.
Rutger's going
What
up.
goes in goes out. He drinks most of his meals.
All right, Alfonso,
Yes, master.
meet me in about 2 hours in my lab. I'm going to need your help studying how to make a homunculus. Be sure to bring in the new Igor, is his name?
Yes, sir. He takes a tray and all your glasses. Ding! And he walks out.
There's just a cup snake of glasses that are just like wildly flailing.
He closes the door.
What does Alfonso look like?
He's not your character. He's not a caveman. Just so the viewers know this, Patrick also plays a character in a different campaign named Alfonso, who's a caveman.
A very advanced caveman.
Caveman with a law degree.
A caveman with a law degree. He's a patent lawyer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a patent lawyer in like a lawyer in like he's like
He works with Samsung.
He has a shit ton of like law degrees. He's capable of like pretty much every single like subsection of like lawyer stuff.
Yeah, he's better than Matt Murdock.
Absolutely, 100%.
That blind weirdo.
He sued Matt
Dr.
Murdock.
Phil is staring into my soul.
Good for you, Tate. No one's gonna understand what that means.
What?
He's talking about a book. Tate, stop with your observational humor. We hear Alfonso close the
I
door.
just see you looking outside into the hall, and you're just like, he's there.
Alfonso leaves the room. Alfonso leaves the room. What do you do?
I have a bad feeling about today, and I take all of my auxiliary bulletproof vests, and bulletproof back jackets,
Now.
and yes, I'm like,
Please wait for that. Don't metagame.
yeah, I have a bad feeling about today.
Yeah, we both know what's gonna happen today, but don't metagame because Rukter doesn't know yet. You gonna do anything else?
I'm gonna head down to the kitchen. I'm gonna brew myself another coffee. I'm gonna brew myself another, and I'm gonna brew one in my travel cup just for like to go to like sip from for the rest of the day.
It's elephant skin.
It's just no, it's just an elephant's foot that's just
It's a tusk.
And then I'm gonna head over to my lab. First,
you put on your baby
I'm gonna-
seal leather shoes.
Hey, shut up! It's not your time.
I'm gonna head over to my lab, and I'm going to like check on all of my chemicals and everything. Do like, of course, the status check, see if everything's there, and then I'm going to check on how my Zircon B is doing.
Okay. Could you roll an intelligence check?
Of course.
Are you making it right now?
Oh no, I'm going to gas a bunch of rats. So 17 plus 11. 28.
28?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's enough. I'm not gonna. You release the gas. And you slowly see, not slowly, you quickly see all of the rats start to sweat and they have trouble breathing. And they all just fall asleep and die.
I think
Fantastic. It's truly working. Just as promised, Dog.
now time to. And I start writing up an email informing Bosch that. Oh, yeah, actually, I write a letter. How. Is there email?
There's computers, but they're very simple computers.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna write.
Analog Android.
No.
I'm gonna write an email to.
You guys will face analog Android later in this campaign. It'll just show up and it'll be useless.
I'm gonna write an email informing him everything
dice. Can I see it?
Well, you're gonna use it a lot.
Roll on this.
Actually, like really heavy.
It's metal.
Yeah, I'm basically just going to write. Zircon B is completely finished. It is a fast, painful, and miserable way to die. I have ensured it. Surely none of our prisons. This will lower the crime rate by several. This will severely lower the crime rate. I'm very proud. I will bring a container of rats to show you. Or perhaps would you like me to bring a goblet to show you how it works?
And you're typing up a letter.
Yes. And then
Fat fit over.
And then I'm like, oh, another hard day of. And so I get this little an alarm goes off. I tap it down.
I call my mother.
And so I ring up my mother.
Hello, mother. How is it in the Bahamas?
Hello, Rukter.
How are you enjoying the Bahamas? I'm sure the flight went well.
Oh, it's lovely here. Answer you got for us? Hope it's not costing you too much.
Don't worry, mother. I got this job. I got this job just to take care of you in your years. Don't
Oh,
worry.
thank you. You want to talk to your father?
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm sure he'd be interested to hear. I just finished a chemical for Bob.
Oh, that's lovely to what to do.
Oh, you see, it's a suppressant It should help with like the higher crime rates. It'll make people less aggressive. It'll make people. It's essentially sort of an
You get an
antidepressant.
impression.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's lovely, dear. It's nice to hear that you're working for the people.
Hmm.
Me and your father went on a yacht yesterday.
Oh yes, how was it?
It was great. Your father caught a shark.
Nice. No, leave it to him. Leave it to him to get such a big catch. Well, how is father doing? Is he okay? No medical issues?
He's doing fine.
Lovely, lovely.
Uh,
Could you put him on the phone? I'd love to tell him about my antidepressant.
yeah, hold on real quick.
Hello, son. Father! It's great to hear your voice. I'm sure there wasn't too much turbulence on the plane over.
No, it's very smooth.
So, how'd you enjoy first class on a private jet?
It was fantastic, especially with the only people on the plane.
Want nothing but the best for you two. So, I heard you caught a shark on a yacht.
Yes, the yacht you bought us.
Yes.
It's so big we had to take a second boat to get up to it. No docks here can hold it.
Yes, you'll be like royalty in the Bahamas. Now, did mother tell you that I finished my antidepressant?
No.
Yes. It should be lowering the crime rates by about, I'd say, 70%.
It's good to hear that you're working for the people.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
You're
soon.
helping them so much.
Exactly. Pretty soon we're going to be completely rid of prisons. We're just going to have all of these therapy camps where we send everyone.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I've always told you my thoughts on criminal punishment, how it shouldn't happen. It's nice to see that you're petitioning the government back at home to end the gulags.
As soon as it's all over and everything has been set right to where it should be, I'll have you guys booked to fly right back with a fantastic mansion.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. By the way, I'm planning to visit you the 28th of next month.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll see you in Moonbury.
See you soon.
Love you. Love you.
I love my mom and dad. I'd never threaten them with a nuclear bomb.
I'll never give this to the police.
I'm so glad they're safe and very far away from this horrible, dangerous government that I wouldn't let do anything horrible to them.
Just so you guys know, the new episode I posted is the episode where Tank does that.
Oh, I see what this is.
Yeah, I was watching that moment. We went, Dad, why are you looking for you? And that's what.
Bitch.
I'll send you to a therapy camp. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, you get top-notch therapy.
Yeah, pretty soon you'll be able to reintegrate it into society.
Recycled into society. Happy at the farmers.
So, I'm going to see how many materials I have and how many tanks of Zircon B I can produce and have ready for Bob by the time.
You produce several dozen large tanks, like 50-liter tanks.
Nice, nice. So I'm going to check my schedule. I'm going to see, do I have any meetings posted for today? Do I have any?
Do you want to work on your homunculi first, or do you want to work on a meeting?
Oh,
Yes, yes. Yes, send in Gigor.
Igor. Okay. For the first time you see this man.
he just has a regular hunch.
No. He is equally as bad. You did not cause his injury. His hip is completely twisted. His spine is curved like a spring. His face is deformed. Thank you for hiring me.
Of course, Igor. Now, did you bring all the supplies that I needed?
Yes, I did. It took me a while, but I brought everything. Had to go to the morgue. He drags it on a wheelless cart.
I get all of my vials
A wheelless cart.
Yes.
and I prepare all of the different ingredients. I start mortar and pestling the feathers down, and I get ready. And say, let's hope he turns out. Let's hope he turns out all right. And suddenly the camera zooms into my paper, which says height 3'5", intelligence intelligence, high IQ. All right. Now what should I name him?
No, fuck. No.
Great leader.
No. You did not create Boglin. I am your father. No, you did not make Boglin become something better.
There's such a twist.
It's just not true.
It'd be so funny though.
It's not true.
So I
Bone unwillingly taken.
gonna mortar and pestle the feathers in. I'm gonna look around.
Where is the
Forgot that this was printed out backwards.
So, let's just go over the ingredients. 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet tall, 50 liters of water, 1 egg, 10 feathers, 10 hairs, the fluid of flesh of a sentient being. I'm going to look at the flesh and I'm going to say, Igor, where did you get this? What specific being is this flesh from?
I got it from a morgue, sir.
Did you get a good look at the body?
Yes.
What was it? Was it Was it a human?
It was a half elf.
Half elf.
Yes.
2 liters of blood, 10 kilograms of sugar, 50 liters, 500 milliliters of ammonia, a bone not really taken.
Ammonia and bleach. Hecky, that's mustard gas.
Chigor. I'm gonna grab Chigor and just rip off a finger.
No, you already have bones unwillingly taken.
Igor, I'm sorry.
Sorry, little one.
So nitrate, 5 kilograms of activated carbon, 100 grams of phosphorus, 100 grams of potassium, 100 grams of calcium, 50 grams of iron, and 8 source of heat. As I turn on the fire. Alright, looks like we have everything. Alright, G-Gore, add me the water.
Here goes our water.
Perfect, perfect. I crack an egg into it. I start mixing. Alright, let's see. Next, we add in, and I'm stirring with the bone. And, alright, so let's see. Got you. I add in the sugar, pour in blood. Now bring it to a boil and cook the fish.
Classic stew.
Stir and
That's me. That's fish, goat's milk, and something else.
I'm gonna pour in the feathers, and I'm going to set up the and I go through the whole process until I have a pot filled with every
Roll an intelligence check. You have disadvantage and a half your modifier. No, actually, it's full modifier. What do you roll?
a 2 and a 1.
Great, I don't need to make bullshit up.
It comes alive.
You look in the pot, and as it's boiled away and diluted, not diluted itself, concentrated itself, as the steam removes from it, you see this like bloody, clotty clump in the bottom of the barrel, steaming and burning, and from it you see a hand materialize. It reaches out for you.
Yes, son.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna like throw it across the.
Yeah, I forgot where.
G-Gore, subdue it.
Jiggle. I'm sorry. I forgot we're in the library. It jumps out of the pot. It's just running around your lab, sort of like destroying some things, and it just like the melt and disintegrate and burn and burst in the flames.
G-Gore, subdue the fire. G-Gore, subdue it. I'm gonna stand over its corpse.
Yes.
What?
Zippity doo dah. I don't know what he was saying.
No, he went and then like he was gonna piss on it.
That's what you were gonna do.
Why? Okay, I think you just be silent for the rest of this flashback.
I was planning to tell my mother about you. She always wanted grandkids. G-Gore, scoop this up.
Yes, sir.
Crying. Did I go over everything we discussed?
New meetings. As this is happening, your servant comes in. Master Rukter? He whispers into your ear. You have a breakfast.
Don't whisper in my ear.
Master Rukter, you have a breakfast appointment with the General of Agriculture and the General of the Treasury at the Mushroom Wolf.
Gotcha. Better work up my appetite. As I down all of my coffee. I'm thirsty. And then I'm gonna fill my travel cup back up. I'm gonna make a coffee before I head out.
You go out of your house, and before you is a luxurious limousine.
I'm going to check if it allows me to bring my dogs.
I'm gonna say keep your dogs at home.
I'm going to say goodbye to each of my 51 dogs.
Bye. I got to.
They're all emaciated. Oh no, they're probably the most plump right now.
Yeah. I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say,
I'm gonna let you loose in the factory soon.
You're not on a factory. You're on a factory.
I let you into town. I'm gonna let you into town soon.
and then I'm gonna get in my car.
One of them's chewing on a human skull.
Yeah, absolutely.
How big is its mouth?
It's a big dog.
Big dog.
And small skull.
It's a child. So
Yeah.
Oh, come here, buddy.
He was a war criminal.
Is it a pit bull?
Child soldier who's fighting against the revolution. It's fine.
Listen, he flunked out of therapy camp too many times.
So I'm gonna get in my car. Gonna drive over to the what was it called again?
It's a mushroom wolf. It's a pub.
The mushroom wolf.
It's a bar.
And I'm gonna get into my 50-person limousine. I'm gonna drive on my own personal highway.
You're on the highway. You drive. Okay, you get into the car, and your servant. Do you want a servant to drive, or do you want to drive yourself?
Actually, I know what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna get on my Harley Davidson motorcycle. And I'm going to drive on the yellow line the whole way there, going like 65,
Okay.
going like always going 20 above the speed limit.
Yeah, your pulse jet engine. You get to the pub. There is outside. It's an old pub from before the revolution. It's made out of wood and brick, and there's this big, dark oak sign hanging from the front entrance. It's of a bunch of red and white mushrooms and a wolf's head.
And the wolf said,
The mushroom wolf.
The mushroom wolf.
You get inside. There's a bunch of compatriots inside of the pub. This is like a fancy pub, right? But then you see the general of agriculture, Danny Viloff.
Danny Elfman.
Danny Viloff.
Composer.
Both of you, be quiet. I'm running a game here, running a story. You see in a booth Danny Viloff, General of Agriculture, And next to him is the general of the treasury, a dwarf man, Tobnir Understone.
Good evening, gentlemen. Lovely to see you.
Good to see you, Rukter.
Good to see you too.
Am I speaking to Danny or Torbjorn?
Tobnir. You're speaking to Danny
I
Vilas.
call him Torbjorn.
Whoa, you're just like Torbjorn from my favorite video game.
Torbjorn.
Want your hand cut off?
Hmm?
You want your hand cut off? Make that happen.
So am I speaking to Torbjorn or
Danny Vilas.
Good to see you, Danny Arvilov.
And what does he do? Does he like
He's a general of agriculture.
general of agriculture?
Nice. I used some of your, I was experimenting with some of the herbs you sent.
Good, good. Hope it all worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
Grew them at my personal, what's it called?
The farm?
No, what's
Plantation?
No, like the thing that they like grow saplings at.
Orchard?
No, it's something else. It's like
A nursery.
nursery. I grew at my personal nursery. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming to this meeting with us.
Sure.
Would you like a drink or a meal or anything from
Oh,
here?
yes, absolutely. I would like a coffee, please.
I'm sorry, General, but we don't have coffee.
What? That's all right. I'll just DoorDash.
DoorDash. Okay, you can't be introducing futuristic elements into a flashback when they don't exist in the present.
Coffee to a restaurant.
This is like having a flashback to the 1950s, and a character goes, "Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna pull up my iPhone and take a 4K photo of this."
I'm going.
Very well. Do you have tea?
No, sir. Well, pub.
Pub.
We have ale. We have beer. We have vodka.
What is
whiskey.
this accent?
Kind of Australian.
It's like Australian Bostonian.
Australian Bogstane.
Bostonian.
Yeah.
All right.
The sort of came out, and now I'm rolling with it.
I'll take a vodka then.
How much?
One bottle.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Any meals? Any foods?
One McMuffin, please.
Give me a serious answer.
No, the
I would like
muffin is
the,
a dish. It's a classical dish.
Named after McGuffin.
Yeah. McGuffin. The McGuffin McMuffin.
Ronald McGuffin.
I'd like the cheesy Alfredo.
Cheesy Alfredo.
Alfredo. The chicken Alfredo.
Okay, black Parmesan.
Yes, absolutely. Of course.
He hands you a coal black dish of cheesy Alfredo.
I pull out my Keurig. I put the
You do not bring a coffee machine with you on your motorcycle.
I pour the coffee. I pour vodka into a little water container with the Keurig. Like it is.
No, you can't introduce futuristic elements into a flashback. I refuse to. He comes back with the with the black fettuccine alfredo, and with a also he hands you a big 2-gallon bottle of vodka. That's the bowls they came. That's the bowls they ship to us with. So
2 gallons of vodka.
yeah, kind of confused when you asked me for A whole bottle.
Rukter is going through a very bad time at the moment.
Rutger's bladder is just a lunatic. The muscles just and no, it's like that scene where Spider-Man's like holding the two
carbs.
parts of the ship.
He's really confused as to how you make an alchemy stone.
Rutger suffers an appendicitis from the amount of fluids that he is in.
Okay, so I assume we'll be eating this inappropriately throughout the conversation. Please don't interrupt me, though. It'll be really rude.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, I wish I had a drink to show you, but I would probably, but like throughout the conversation, since like Rector spends 90% of his time alone, so he has almost like he has very limited table manners, right? He's got like all of like the visual stuff down, but like when he's eating, he's like, oh. And, and there are times where he will just get distracted and just go like,
I assume because it's such a big bottle, it's on the floor. You have just a really long straw. It's like a hookah.
No, it's a bendy straw. It's like one of those like circular straws.
Okay,
And
let's
then-
start the conversation. Let's start with the conversation. Jesus Christ. Okay. Reset yourselves. Danny Violoff says, "Thank you for coming to this meeting. What I want to talk about is, have you guys heard about what happened to Hokovsky, the General of Interior Intelligence?" You see, Tobnir goes, "Yes, I heard about that yesterday."
I just killed my butler, so I'm afraid he didn't deliver the news. Could you inform me?
He sort of like covers up his mouth so no one can see what he's saying. He got purged. He's gone. I went to his office yesterday, and his office was cleared out, nothing inside. But his staff that were still there, I asked them about him, and they acted like he never existed.
Surely you're not threatened by this, are you?
I'm worried about this, Tobnir says. What if Bog is purging people who he doesn't like? Any of us could be next. The ego in that man could block out the sun.
I'm too useful to be gotten rid of. I'm making Zircon pee for him. He couldn't possibly want to rid himself of me. I mean, who will supply the materials to make gas weapons? Who will be in charge of creating those gas weapons?
and what does Torbnir do?
He's a treasury. He's in charge of the treasury.
Why would he threaten the man in charge of his treasury?
You hear, Tobnir says, I don't know. And then Danny says, I just think we need to band together and protect each other.
What are you saying?
I want reassurance. I want you, he covers up his mouth again. I want you to give me a cyanide grenade that I can use when the time comes to it. And I want you to give me the antidote. I know you developed a cyanide antidote during the revolution. Okay?
And who told you?
Everyone knows what you did in Garmuda. Garmuda, it's a city.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Everyone knows of
And
the
I
fog of death.
underneath, and I roll underneath the table a cyanide grenade.
You shake your leg and it comes out of your pantsuit. You're shaking a turn down your leg. Stolar's oh.
I roll it underneath the table.
He grabs it and sort of like tosses it up to his hand and goes. Takes underneath his shirt.
Only a fool would make a cyanide grenade with the antidote in the pit.
Yes, only a fool would do that. And you see Tormnir goes, just kicking your legs.
I only have 17.
You're 17.
On me right now, that is.
And I roll him one as well.
He puts it in his pants.
So, do you think that it might also be because of the physical differences between us and Bog? Could be a motive. Could be a motive.
Well, Bog's not really that big of a racist, you know. But also, Harkovsky was human. I'm just saying, I don't know what's going to happen. I just think we need to be cautious, right? Tobnir says, yeah, and he covers his mouth. That's why I have a money stash, a gold stash hidden in the countryside. In case shit hits the fan, I'm gonna grab that shit and get out of here.
Where is the money stash?
Oh, it's by a farm near an old military castle.
Like, do you have an address?
Yeah, he pulls out a map.
Here's my secret gold stash!
He hands it to you. Yes. You want to roll a memory check, or you want to steal that?
I'm gonna write it down on my hand.
Roll a memory check. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be like a 20-something. I think that's enough. Yeah, you remember the map perfectly. And you hand it back to him.
Oh, that's cool. Here you are.
You're eating your food. Okay. As it is happening, your servant comes up to you and he whispers into your
Jesus, what's wrong with you?
No, he whispers into your he whispers into your
Jesus!
he whispers into your ear, Master Rukter, you have a meeting with Bog at the government palace in an hour. And he runs away.
I'm fine.
Does he run like the?
He runs like Shaggy in the original Scooby Doo.
Starts running through the. What did you say?
Super Shag.
What's Sling Scooby? Like Sling Spog. Anyway, so I'm gonna make my way.
Well, gentlemen, I have a meeting with Bob soon. Hopefully, we have another meeting. Good luck.
And so I get on my Harley Davidson. I'm lying down. You know those like trucks that have the sort of like ramp for cars to get onto? I ramp off one of those.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
Those don't exist in this country.
Aw.
You find a pile of garbage on the street and ramp up.
I start driving through like alleyways.
Sword God.
Anyway,
So
that's literally what I was saying to Mood when we were drinking.
you fucking scared me, Tate. Sword God.
But yeah, so
You make your way uh, to the government palace. This is the old royal palace of the royal family.
he kept touching me.
Both of you need to chill.
All right.
Okay, we're doing the story here. Serious story about fascism and terribleness and terrible people.
Also, I don't know if you noticed earlier, but I started going like this, and I saw Tate just get hypnotized by it and start like trying to match the tempo.
No, I was drumming.
And he was like full on mouth open, eyes glazed over, and I was like, my power, it's increasing. Anyways, continuing on.
Okay.
So I go up to meet Bob.
So you go up to the palace. This used to be the royal palace of the royal family used to live in before the revolution.
You want a donut?
I'll have it later. And Bog, of course, promised. Is right next to the microphone.
That is some great audio quality right there, Patrick.
Bog promised that after the revolution that they were going to tear it down and restore it to the people, and he kept it for himself. And he actually expanded upon it greatly, so now it's like 3 times, 4 times bigger. And it's like part of it's under construction still, and it's like this massive fortress. It takes up like 10 city blocks and is like 6 stories tall on average. So has multiple parks within inside of its walls, massive fountains outside, and you ride up. You get to the entrance. You're inside.
I ride my Harley Davidson up the stairs,
No,
sweating from my brow.
you don't do that.
I'm gonna walk up the stairs to his throne room,
To his office.
to his office, with the throne in it.
Okay. You see this. You go up to like the 3rd floor, and you see. Actually, no. He'd be at the 6th floor. You go up to the 6th floor, and you walk up to these large, massive doors. Each door is like 12 feet tall and 6 feet wide, and it's like a dual door that open outwards. Really thick mahogany, with like golden handles on it.
The days of Palpatine still aren't over for him, I see. Oh well.
You knock on the door. As you do that, the door opens, and you see well, you're all technically military figures, but you see a man who's actually part of the military. Um, and you see by his medals he's a lieutenant, and he walks out of the room. And Bog is sitting behind his desk in his large, solid gold and platinum chair, diamond encrusted. Uh, and he's waiting for you.
Does it have cushions or is it just like
It has cushions.
gotcha?
It has cushions.
Golden fiber cushions.
This absolutely massive, like oval office. It's this massive, expansive room that has really high ceilings with a big portrait painted on top of the ceiling of Bog hanging out with angels punching a god. as all of the countrymen look up at him, poor, covered in coal, with their hands up asking for food, as he holds a stalk of wheat, and he looks down at them. He's smiling, really massive smile. Um, he has you see Bog himself. He's wearing this red and gold military uniform with a bunch of medals completely encrusted over his entire body. Um, he has this this small afro. He has this sort of like goat. He has this really big beard, not big beard, but he looks like Bob Ross. Yeah.
Are the medals on his uniform just blocking like the whole front of it? Like there's no color?
Yeah, yeah, full on. Um, he looks at you and he points towards the man who's walking out. This is Lieutenant Trevor. He is a bright young man. I've just put him in charge of our rural western province. Smart man.
I didn't know he was Jamaican.
He's not Jamaican. He has a South African accent based on my chemistry teacher.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes, I saw him as I was walking in. Very decorated man as well. Of course, not as decorated as you look, though.
Um, yes, I know. I do definitely have a lot of medals.
So, you called me in here for a meeting?
Yes, I wanted, so you wanted to tell me your plan of what you're going to do with the goblinoids.
Ah, yes. So, came up with these ideas, right?
Yes.
So you know how they've been causing quite a bit of trouble.
No?
So you know how
Very nice people. During the revolution, the early days when we had no weapons, I contacted one of them to supply our early army, with weaponry from outside of our country.
Yes, the McCringleberry Foundation.
Yes.
Yes. So, of course, however, with every new government, there's also a very stark rise in crime. Particularly, some people could be looking to rebel. It's best we make a very potent example right away.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. So, what I suggest is therapy camps where people are reconditioned to where any war criminal prisoner, we abolish every camp, every prison there is. And these therapy camps, people are sent to there so that they can be reintegrated into society, turn them into patriots, or if that doesn't end up working, I've developed Zircon P.
What is that?
Well, and I put a rat cage. I put a not a rat cage. I put a container with like some rats in it.
See, Zircon P.
You start spraying them with Febreze.
So, as you can see,
And the rats have like the the container just has like rebels like written on the side of it.
and so as you can see, these rats living completely fine, very healthy. Their collars are very strong, their eyes are open, and large.
Yes.
Perfectly healthy rats.
I once had a pet rat when I was a child.
Ooh, interesting. And so I put the rats away, and I pull out I pull out a bunch of like crickets.
Great. So as you can see, and it has like rebels. So you can see these are very different.
The eyes are open.
They've
They have good color.
They've got very vibrant colors. They're very large. You know, all of this sort. So, this is a very cost-effective way of dealing with people that can't be reintegrated into society. The inferiors.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch when I just put in a small amount of zircon. And I attach like a little tube to I attach a tube to a vent into the container, and I release the zircon bee, and very quickly you see the crickets all just start to like die and like
No, Buddy Holly.
wither away. Now, of course, I know you're thinking, these are just crickets. How would this work on a fully grown person? Well, Alfonso!
Alfonso walks in. Yes, Master Rector, who needed me?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Put your head in here. Your head.
You said okay.
And Alfonso, and I press a button, and it immediately locks around his head.
Master Rector, what are you doing?
So, as you can see,
He starts hitting his head against the side of the table, trying to open it. What are you doing? What are you doing?
so as you can see,
That's fine.
and he just drops dead on the ground. I'm like sweating and screaming.
The cage is filled with vomit.
Now, watch this. And I call in a goblin. Clean this up for me. And he takes it away. And I slumps Alfonso onto the side of my Harley Davidson outside.
I want him stuffed on my bed.
So, as you can tell, knowing that this is the only punishment will lower crime rates by nearly 90%.
I don't know. I feel like this amount of brutality could potentially start an uprising. I mean, it's not like you can kill all of these people.
Ah, that is.
Okay.
However, you are completely right. However, we need a race that's a scapegoat for us. So you see, if we pin every single problem we have ever had in the past on one single people, and we sequentially kill them, then
Bastard.
then people will see them as an enemy, right? We paint them as entirely purely evil. Now,
What group of people do you have in mind?
well, you see, the strongest opposing force against you.
The Royalists?
No, that's
Those are human.
those are the strongest opposing force. The one that supplied us with our weapons. The goblins. They're physically weak. They're able to be herded up in large numbers. That.
This is not a great. This is not a great
The
thing.
goblinoids only make up less than 2% of our population.
Exactly.
I don't know. This sounds I've done a lot of bad things during the revolution, but this sounds a lot like genocide. Ah, but it is.
Yeah, but
That's the great thing.
What we see, have you seen what's in the goblin neighborhood?
Occasionally I go down there.
I hand him some pictures, and a lot of them are
Like photoshopped.
they they have they have like posters, like anti-bog posters. They have all of this. Basically, it's just like a bunch.
They had a meeting in one of their neighborhoods, a military meeting with a lot of the arms suppliers, right? The arms dealers themselves are attempting to take over the country.
Is this because I killed the guy who invented the Dystabletopia?
Yes.
This is not good. This is not good at all. I don't know about this plan, War. It sounds very extreme for me. As this is happening, the doors open and Bog's assistant, this half elf woman, clearly had a lot of plastic surgery done. She walks in. No. She walks in and says, Supreme General Bog, the doctor for your daughter is here.
Oh, yes. I'll be sure to get out of your hair.
Oh, no. Sit here. I'll be right back. When I come back from my from my daughter's doctor's appointment, we can talk about your future. He's a great doctor, very smart man.
Sorry.
I call him the dog man. It's a bit of an inside joke. He walks out of the.
All right. Just let me look for my notes here to further convince you. Would you? So we're gonna hold on.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
My diploma in psychology, my
I'll be right back.
in business.
He's gone. He's gone. You're in the room. You're in the room alone.
Oh, whoops! I dropped my bag just full of fake diploma.
my master's diploma that I use for my magnum
Brain.
Oh, my society diploma.
There's just diplomas and made up subjects.
So you're in the room alone. He's left. What do you do?
He's gonna kill me.
So since I fucked up that convincing him that Jesus sequentially killed goblins.
I really like the idea that you're much worse than he is at ethical level. Like, I like the goblins, they're nice people.
Does this take place after Boglin's dad was killed?
Yeah, your dad was killed.
Okay, then why was the racial discrimination already happening?
Your dad has not been killed yet.
I found the continuity error!
Okay, yeah.
Which would mean that your character was probably around like 12
Yeah.
at this time.
Yeah.
Which means, and we were supposed to be like similar ages, so that means I'm 12.
You're not. I always imagine you being much older. I always imagine you being much older.
Yeah.
I'm a 4-year-old man.
So you're in the room alone. Your father is not dead yet.
Yay!
You're about to kill him, though.
No!
Yeah. What do you do?
I hate that fact though.
Dad? What are you waiting for you?
It didn't even need it.
Considering that it went so well, and considering that it
Don't go to the bathroom.
considering the discussion went so well, and that it's 100% gonna happen, and I'm gonna be put at lead.
I sit and I wait.
Aw, you bastard.
Gonna be like,
I gotta get out of here.
But this also so I didn't manage to convince him that genocide was the way. So does that mean that
The future
that
is
history is
changed.
just rewritten?
No,
Okay.
he's gonna steal your idea.
Is there a window behind Bog's chair?
They're all sealed, but there is a bathroom. I'm gonna railroad you to the bathroom.
So the window is sealed?
On Bog's office, yes.
Like, is it like sealed with like glass? Or...
Yeah, it's reinforced. No.
Dive out
Wait,
of his six.
Dude, I know a way you can railroad him.
No, I know.
Can I see?
I thought you were about to say, no, Mahmood, this is how it works, and then just like jump out the glass.
What the fuck did you just say? I heard because he has the galaxy and he just drinks gallons and gallons of.
I'll just Discord. I'll just text you on Discord.
Okay, sit down thing. Okay, so what do you do?
I'm going to
Oh, those coffees are in your system.
That's literally what I'm about to suggest.
Hello, I need another coffee.
What?
I wait for the servant to come up, and I stress drink the coffee. And then I sprint to the bathroom.
Yeah, he's a diuretic, so you really need to pee. You go into the bathroom, it's empty as well. Okay, you finish peeing. What do you do? Sure.
All right.
Does Rukter wash his hands?
No.
Absolutely not.
So what do you do?
I'm gonna get out of the bathroom.
There is an open window.
An open window on the 6th floor.
There's some balconies below you. You can take it. There's some bushes.
I'm gonna
You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's the idea we came up with was really funny. I'm out the window, and I'm just gonna.
Oh wait, there's a window in the bathroom?
Yeah,
And like
for lighting and for airflow.
I have never seen a single bathroom that has a window.
My old house used to have one.
I don't know what bathroom you have, but
Like not in like public buildings. Like
It's not a public building. It's a private house.
my school has bathrooms with windows, but they're tinted.
I have never ever seen one of them.
Okay, but this one has one because there are bathrooms like that,
Yes, there are.
especially in like olden times where they didn't have AC.
So I'm like sitting in the stall and I'm just like
Okay, finally finished.
and then open the window. Wait, is it open? Is it like unlocked?
You can open it.
Got you. Okay.
Open it all. I think the thing is that we discussed this idea, and then I think you're actively trying to inch your way through messing it up and be as annoying as possible. Either don't do the idea or do it.
I'm gonna open up the window and I'm gonna I'm gonna like jumping from balcony to balcony, like climbing down as fast as I can. And then I start digging.
Outside the palace?
Well,
Okay, so where's a safe place? Where's a safe place?
My house.
my house. I'm gonna run over to my house.
Your house is luckily kind of nearby. It's in the Lake District. Running through lawns.
And then I'm gonna start digging in my garden and just
Wait a second.
I call over my dogs, dig, dig, dig.
They start digging. If you're taking off your clothes.
I take off my bulletproof clothes. I take off my bulletproof vest. I take off my bulletproof jacket. Take off my bulletproof blazer. I take off my bulletproof
Fully.
pants. I take off my bulletproof underwear.
Everything.
Everything.
Pile.
Even my bulletproof velvet top hat. And I like drop it in there, and I'm like completely stark naked.
You have your dog seal the hole.
Seal it up, seal it up. And then I immediately run inside, and
Change.
yeah, good change. And I get on my second Harley Davidson. Okay, let's see. I pull out a map.
Yeah.
I can fly an airplane. I can do that. How guard hasn't 9/11 happened in this? Like, like how tight is airport security?
Tight.
Tight.
They're definitely going to check that. No, I've seen our bombers in action. Our fighters are really fast.
Oh God. Make your way back to the palace.
I wouldn't have enough time.
Okay.
I make my way back to the palace.
You up the gutters, up to the sixth floor bathroom. You get in, you shut the window, you flush the toilet, and you leave. Sounding confused.
And I'm sitting there.
Are you back in the office?
Yeah, back in the office.
You are, as you're walking back to the office, you are stopped by a man who's also wearing a bunch of medals on his military uniform. He stops you. Rukter!
I put my hands on my hips, clutching my cyanide grenades I have hidden.
How's it going?
Everything's going right.
Who
Yeah,
is this person?
he is the general of what's it called? Magic warfare.
Ah, so he's the guy I stole the sword from.
He's the guy you're going to steal a sword from. And a what's it called? Bag of holding. Wallet of holding, sorry.
Good. Good to see you. Have we met before?
Yeah, we walked on. He's not Australian, he's Scottish. Yeah, we walked on many. Fuck, I'm not just from Australian. Ignore my voice.
We worked on the
We worked on a good alleyway.
Okay.
We worked on some fucking,
It's Australian.
we worked on some fucking, yeah, Australian.
He's Scottish.
Oh.
so forever. We worked on
We worked on many wars with each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, yes.
Many battles we fought together, side by side.
Yes, I've Just me playing a little
Captured
trick on
Bog's
you.
dog, you don't remember?
Oh, no, I do remember you. And I've also noticed you've been gaining a lot of power lately.
Well, that's not true.
It's not true. Ah, I see. How have things been going? Have you developed any new weapons?
Yeah, been developing some new spells for my men to use.
Hmm.
There's this new guy, the government. He's making his way up the ranks very. What's his name? I don't know.
My apologies. Oh,
But he's been stealing my territory. I run the most prestigious branch of our military, and this noob is stealing it.
You're morphing into a Russian accent. It's fine.
I know. Okay. I messed up when I was doing his accent.
Let's kill him. Find his home and kill him. Flood his house with Zerplan B. I'll kill him. I'll flood his house with Zerplan B. You set it on fire. And throw those shits.
We go fighting you.
Like a castle.
We go fighting you.
Yes.
Well, he grabs him by the shoulders. See you later, and he walks away.
See you later. Good to see you.
You run back into the office.
I set up all of my multiple diplomas, my diploma in government management, societal complexities, my philosophy diploma, my diploma in business, my all of the I pile up all of my master's degrees, and I'm like patiently waiting for Bog to come back in.
Bonk comes back in. Oh, Bonk, you scared me!
And I like throw my diplomas all over the room, and I'm like, oh, sorry, could you help me pick these up real quick? And like it's just with just 100 different master's degrees, and like one of them says master's degree in emotional intelligence.
Bog sits down in his throne. Says, "I am so sorry. As you know, my daughter has a
It's okay.
blood disorder. We got a new doctor. He's doing a lot better now with him. Anyways, about your plans, about the future." Uh, he looked at you. I swore you were wearing something different earlier.
No, no.
No.
I'm just very tidy. I reorganize myself quite a lot. You see.
And so you were talking?
Oh, yes. So, anyways. We kill all the goblins. So, you see, this and you see, they provide a threat to many of us. After all, they're part of their own nation. hmm They could be planning to occupy us at any moment.
What do you mean their own nation?
I'm making shit up. Is there actually a nation of goblins?
I'm sure there is, but like not near here.
They could be sending.
Coming to our land. Or not.
So, you see,
Bog.
buddy, Fredo. We don't have to kill that goblin, but if we just ever so happen to notice that a lot of them tend to be rebellious. Now, I'd like to place an emphasis on the therapy part of the camps.
He pressed the.
You see,
He's like,
in low doses, Zircon B could also be antidepressant. In low doses, Zircon B is actually an antidepressant.
Yes, General Rukter.
Boglin, you're a good man.
Only silent, only silent. Now, Rukter, I think you are a great man. I like you a lot, personally.
Thank you.
But there's some things I want to discuss with you. He pulls out a bunch of files. want to discuss with you about some testimony I've been hearing about you from the early war, about how you planned an assassination attempt on my life.
No, I didn't.
No, you see, this is a Pinocchio fire, right? There.
It was General
So-
Pinocchio.
No, this is, and you know how often he
His nose not grow during uh, during his testimony.
Of course. It's because he has.
Just shaking your legs like they're going down your pants.
Of course. Of course his nose didn't grow. Because he can control it.
He's pressing the button very, very heavily.
He can control his nose grew. You have to understand, Bob.
As you're saying this, the doors open wide as a bunch of soldiers with machine guns come in. Your turn, it's open. You couldn't do anything weird? You pull 6 pins.
Bob, you're making a mistake. I'm the most loyal person in this whole entire country. I would never plan to assassinate you.
He takes out an audio recording.
That long-nosed.
Takes an audio recording.
I hate rotters. I hate bugs.
I'm sorry. Rukter.
That's why Rukter drinks
Okay.
so much.
Okay. In your voice,
You're not allowed to
in your voice,
record my therapy sessions.
in your voice,
My insecurity.
well, there you quiet. In your voice, Patrick,
I hate everybody, and I hate myself the most. And I
in your
can't
voice,
why.
in your voice, Patrick, say about how you plan, how you want to assassinate Bonk.
You know, Bog makes such a good figurehead. Such a man of character, of personality. All the perfect telltale signs of a manipulator. You know, everyone seems to like him. But all it takes is one bad day. Just one bad day. You see, all I have to do is just lace his water, lace his piping with a chemical. Just give him, put rabies in the water. Right? If he were to just get infected with rabies, his aggression would be heightened. He would be hated. Everyone close to them would be hated, as in their last few waning years of their life. They would be absolutely despised.
Okay,
So
that's enough.
many.
The soldiers grab you, Rukter.
Listen, it's a good idea, though. I changed. It's a good idea.
Great idea.
We could do that to all these different governmental leaders. You know, they would be hated. They would be hated.
You
by their own
escorted.
people. They would welcome us.
Your feet are dragging on the ground.
Saviors for God.
You're being dragged into a courtroom that's already filled with people, and you see not in like the audience and not in the jury, but like sort of behind like the defendant's chair, you see a bunch of other government figures, including Danny Violoff and Tobnir's Understone. Their jackets have been just ripped off of them. They're just in their underwear.
Also, if they pull out the cyanide grenades, I will attack them. If they pull out the cyanide grenades, I will attack them in an attempt to prove my innocence.
So could you just have them pull out the grenade?
Yeah, you see Danny goes, he pulls out his grenade.
I pull out one of my secret handguns and just.
He lives in the future. You can't kill him in the past.
Oh yeah.
This isn't time travel.
Alternate universe.
No.
So I've built up an immunity to science so that I can say. And so. And so I'm just gonna sprint up and I'm just gonna be like. Grab the cyanide grenade.
Don't you dare hurt our almighty Bob! You are tackled.
I'm innocent! I'm innocent!
They pulled 17 cyanide grenades out from you. 15. 15 cyanide grenades from you.
Those were in case someone tried to rebel against Bog. They were just in case.
You're handcuffed, tied. You have you have a lot of your clothing removed, and you're put into a wooden wicker chair. As one by one, you guys are put into the jury, and you guys are tried for your crimes against Bog. A third of your accusations are true. Two-thirds of them aren't true, or just completely made up stuff. And
Pinocchio can control his nose. That's all I'm going to say.
after they're accused as guilty, they are taken to a corner of the courtroom, and a soldier pulls out a gun and says "Hail Bog" and shoots them in the head as they collapse to the floor. And over time, a pile of bodies is formed in the corner of the courtroom. And you notice, you look down, this side of the courtroom has concrete floors with grating, with like
Metal like grates at the bottom.
yeah, for the drain. But every once in a while, when someone goes in the stand and they're accused guilty, Bob will just go, "Ugh," and they're not brought to be shot and killed. They're brought to a different part of the courtroom. That happens to you. That happens to Danny Violoff, and to Tobnir Understone, and to a handful of people. But that day, 89 people were killed.
How many lived?
7.
I'm gonna look at Danny, who I just tackled. At least we weren't the 90th. You would have done the same in my position.
I hate you. You are a vile man who only cares about himself.
Silence, half-breed.
I'm human.
So what? You look like
It's
you look like
not
you have
even
some-
true.
You look like you're half something.
And we cut to the modern day.
Probably after you filthy fuck. Or it goes into a tirade.
We flash forward to the present day, but not to the present day. We actually go a bit past present day, 10 days into the future, after where we left. You wake up in your bed. The microphone to the side of your bedstand. There is no power involved, so you don't think they're recording you. You walk up, you go outside, and outside your door are 2 soldiers with guns.
Do I recognize them?
No. There is an announcement you both hear over the city from Bog. Hello, I am Supreme General Bog. And I have to say, 10 days after those terrorists destroyed our power plants, we are still doing strong. Those foolish terrorists thought they could defeat us, but they have not. We still have power, we still have running water, and everything is okay. We have restored power in no time at all, with both power plants being fully repaired within under 3 hours. A round of applause to all of you soldiers. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Okay, good. I see you there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you deserve an extra pat on your back. Oh, good. Boglin's is going full ham. Yeah, Boglin!
No,
Um, and he says, yes, yes, good, good. Celebrate all of you. Unfortunately, for we will have power outages more frequently than we did before because we're so prosperous that we're using so much power. We've increased production tenfold since the terrorist attacks. We are producing, and this is official numbers. We are producing 10 million shoes an hour. That is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I've not seen so much prosperity anywhere in all of sapien history. Uh, have a wonderful day, all of you, and make sure to donate to the Rabbit Project
I hear like Boglin cheering and screaming and
across the city.
no, it's not fun. I'm making a
I'm sitting in the I'm sitting in like my office with like two guards like right behind me, guns pointed at the back of my head, and I just hear like all the goblins stop as like this like thing comes on, and I just see like Boglin just going, we're just complete silence, just like
That
You
wasn't
hear-
Boglan. That wasn't Boglan.
You hear a different voice come on to the speakers. The power will go out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait, hold on.
No. I'm gonna have a donut. I'm hungry now. I'm gonna have this one. Is this fine?
Yeah. You said that the lights go out.
Mm-hmm.
Do that again. Do that again.
What is that even supposed to represent?
it's from Five Nights.
I know.
You see, Tate recently unlocked the drone.
We're here at Freddy Fazbear Park. Pizzeria.
Making you laugh is like
Very
making
easy.
a 5-year-old.
Yeah. What we need to do now is just yell at him, and then we've completed the child care Tate standard Tate stamp approval.
We need to be hired at a preschool for a week and swing that giant for a little under a week.
Yeah. So the power goes off,
So power goes off.
and the soldiers look at you. Sorry, Lieutenant. You're a lieutenant, right? Sorry, Lieutenant Rukter. But with the power going out, sometimes we have to make sure that you don't, go anywhere, escape, or do anything unusual. The car is here to bring you to the factory. We are officially reopening production at all sites today.
So since it's been 10 days, that means we have 10 times the scrap and supplies, correct?
Yes. Sure. We have a cutscene to a big tank. Apollo's made his own Iron Man armor.
We just cut to Boglin's drones, and like we go down and check on them, and Boglin, why did you make them in the shapes of goblins and then give them chains around their necks? Why do you have them like
With a sign hanging around them that says "Bad Boy."
why Why do you have them have like ball and chains around their ankles? What? What is this one?
No, my
Criminal.
my drones look like the drones that the U.S. uses.
Okay, so not stationary.
But wait, you use these drones like drones as in like the flying ones?
Yeah, the flying ones we used to.
Those are horrible for mining.
Those were separate.
Yeah, those are.
What
separate.
level are you guys?
Hmm?
What level are you guys?
7.
7. Oh.
I thought it was 6. Hold on. Let me level up.
No, yeah, we are 6.
6. It's back flying.
No, I remember because I made a bottle of lycanthropy.
Also-
you
Also.
What was that?
hard.
Oh, Squidward. What do you guys think of the flashback?
I forgot to call my mom and dad and tell them I'm gonna be okay.
You've got to do that.
Do that, so
I'm going to be okay.
I'm gonna say that happened, though.
no, hold on. Boglin, do you have a mom? Do you have a dad?
No.
No, they were both killed.
I managed to save mine.
You guys are not next to each other. You guys are speaking into walls. Speaking of Boglin, though, we zoom across the city to the Goblin ghetto, and the camera hits you in the face. You wake up.
Another day in paradise.
You see a hobgoblin wearing with like a beating stick, and he knocks on all your doors and says, come on, inmates! It's time to go back to work. We're working again today. Get your asses out of your beds." Mhm. Your roommate also wakes up. He goes over to you.
I turned to him.
You think it's time? I have not a fucking clue what you're referring to. Time to be free. Also, Tate, you're speaking away from the microphone as you're whispering. You're not
Oh.
paying up. Same time. Do you think it's time for us to be liberated? What the fuck does that even mean? We don't have anywhere near the amount of resources.
It's just the two of you.
Yeah, I mean, I know other people, but like, we're not really coordinated yet. I think we might need to have like maybe like an event, you know, to get the morale up, the support. Power plants weren't enough. What the fuck are you saying? The power plants weren't enough? Blow up the power plants for a reason. I don't know what that reason was, but I don't think disruption tends to just automatically cause a populace that's comfortable to rise up against a dictatorship. All right, well, I'll think of something. Let me know if you do. How are those tanks coming along? Was it 40 tanks?
50, I think.
50 tanks? How are those 50 tanks coming along? Almost complete. How you've been here all this time? I love giving you questions and being like, no. That doesn't make any sense. You've been here. Do you have them designed? Yes, I have them designed. Okay, good. You think you'd be like them? What do you need designs? Really quickly. Okay, good. We should be going to the factory again today. Hopefully you can sneak off and get some work done. I can. I'll set up an assembly line. Okay. So I assume you both get dressed and you walk downstairs.
Yeah, in my loincloth.
You're not wearing a loincloth. You are wearing
I literally
normal
asked
goblin
you.
clothes.
I asked you a day ago. I asked you a few weeks ago what your character wears, and I made the joke that you wore a loincloth. And you were like, "No, no, no. I wear like a button-up shirt and like jeans." And
Also not true. You're wearing goblin like inmate uniform,
Yeah.
which I've described.
and just like so, I just assumed Boglin just disrobed coming out full on, just like loincloth.
The loincloth has the triangle, the pink triangle band stitched into it.
It's actually just like the arm piece that I've just made into pants.
No.
I'm basically
You have a reversed loincloth. You have an inverted loincloth.
Are you wearing his underwear back
No.
inside out?
No, a loincloth. I imagine you're thinking like Gollum, right? Where he's just wearing a loincloth. And his version of that is that every part of him is covered in cloth except for his waisting part. Because that's the only scenario I can imagine Baldwin being comfortable. I think he has the ego that he thinks he can pull that off.
no, no.
But no, he's also not wearing that. He's just wearing
That's
normal clothes.
that's for special occasions.
Yeah.
And so
That's when you're ready to be arrested.
so
That's when you really want to play into the stereotype. um,
I'm gonna go up to my office.
we're not done.
Oh.
We still have something for Rukter. You all go into the courtyard. They have not opened the gates yet, so you can't. So you guys haven't formed your lines yet. You guys are waiting for you guys to be escorted afterwards.
On the drive over to like my factory, we pick up Danny on the way, and I'm just like, it was within reason.
After all this time.
Roll a perception check. Making you honest. 18. That's enough. You see an older female goblin at the other side of the courtyard. She's sort of just sitting around and she's just looking around. And then you see a really skinny human guard in his black uniform attire. He looks at her with angry eyes and he just walks up to her. Why are you staring at me? You can barely hear her from across the yard. She's like, I wasn't staring, I was just looking around. I saw you staring at me. Stop staring at me. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't backsass me. You're backsassing me. He gets out his beating stick and he starts beating her.
Before he
I love how I describe what's happening. You say, no. I'll step in before them. Then I step in days before and I kill him.
No, I meant like before.
I assassinated that man weeks prior.
I wanted you to finish your sentence.
What are you talking about? I've killed him already.
Can't exist. You just get to the final boss and like you see him standing before you. Giga Bog. And then Kid goes, no. I killed him weeks ago. I snuck into his office and I just killed him.
Do I prefer mech suit for Bog?
Before
For its like final miniature.
I don't know what he's going to look like.
Before the guard attacks the woman, I discreetly pull out my springlock gun and
He just have a gun on you.
I pull it out of my wallet of holding. And I discreetly just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, that's not going to cause any problems.
Isn't a springlock gun really loud?
Okay, I need you to roll a stealth check with extreme disadvantage, no modifiers.
No modifier. All right. 15. 3. 15.
I'm going to add 10 to this.
No, Mom.
9. Okay. 19. Immediately as you do this, Boglin just shot that guy! And he gets the ball bearing out of his helmet. He goes, "Who shot me?" And they all point at you, him. He has a gun.
Come on!
As your hand is fully extended.
I'm trying to stop.
I didn't stop.
I love how you are starting a revolution without building any support for that revolution.
Can I try this again?
Yes, you can do this
I
again.
put you in charge.
I'm bad at this. Shut the fuck up.
We're nearly at 2 hours in this recording.
Oh,
I think we're doing pretty good, though. This is like good timing. Normally, this would be like 4 hours in.
Usually, so I think I'm gonna help you with gathering support.
I think my best.
No. You guys are opposing forces. You guys will develop it independently, or we'll pretend to be helping each other. Or do whatever you want. I don't care.
I think the best course of action is maybe to be more direct about it.
Yeah, not shoot them from afar. With a mystery gun that no one knew you had.
Gollum sprint at him.
All right. Can I confront the guard?
Yeah, you can do that. What do you do?
I walk up to him, and as he's about to take another
No, he's beating her.
all right, as he's about to take another swing, I grab the baton from him.
You get a closer look at him. He is incredibly skinny. Like, if he was not wearing a vest, he would be like his ribs would be showing. And as you grab his hand, he looks at you with just like really open eyes. And he's just beating you. He's just punching you and beating up you. You want to defend yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Sharp teeth. Sharp.
Should this be strength or should this be like fortitude? I'm saying fortitude. Roll fortitude check.
Fortitude, okay. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural? You piece of shit. Okay. So you are able to sort of like block some of the blows. He keeps beating you. Roll again.
Trying to beat me into submission.
No, beat you to death.
17.
He's
17.
beating you.
17.
The club. Okay, what does he roll? He's going to have a +5. 15. I love how you're getting excited. You're ruining the story.
I'm trying to go with the story. I don't know what you want me to do.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He can just beat you. Roll again. It's not going to go on for infinity. It's going to happen.
Can I counterattack him?
No. Well, you can.
Another 17.
Okay, what was that? 14. Yeah, that's annoying. You successfully hold off his attack. I'm gonna say though, you absorb the attack, right? So take 10 points of damage.
Okay, I can do 10 points of damage.
10 points of bludgeoning damage. 2 of our guards come and they pull him away from you, dude, stop it, man, stop it. He's a lower life form. He's not worth it.
It's true. Just him specific.
You didn't break any bones or anything. You're able to protect yourself from that, but you are hurt and you are bruised and it's starting to swell. But you saved that other goblin's life. And she comes up to you with her face bruised and swollen. She says, "Thank you, young man. What's your name?"
I'm Boglin.
That's a nice name. You don't shake her hand. I hold my hand out
Yeah.
for very long and you win.
I didn't know if you
Eventually, after a couple of minutes, they open the gates and armed guards escort you to the factory. Rukter, what do you do?
So I see all this happen.
No, no. You're not at the camp.
Got you. So I am in my office?
Yeah, wherever you want to be.
All right. So I'm at my office, and so the guards are right behind me. Or-
No, once you get inside, they are like around the entrance, though.
Got you. Do I have any orcish managers?
No, you don't have any orcish managers.
Do I have any orc employees?
No. Counter-revolution. Actually, we can roll for it if you want.
Orc managers.
Give me a d6.
D6.
How do we do evens and odds?
We do
Yeah.
D20. Evens and odds?
Yeah, which one?
Odds. 17!
I roll. 8. I'm very digging into this session. I will go with yours. I won't be rude. Even though you should not have rolled.
You told me to roll.
I meant like. Well, at first I was going to make you roll for like perception check,
Yeah.
but then I switched my mind
Yeah,
and
you
I was asking
should.
you to hand me a dice. Hand me a d4. -1. You have one orc employee.
He's a
Jeff, my main man.
He's a manager, right?
He is not a manager. He works in accounting.
Also, second question: how many opportunities do I have to talk with my own goblins?
Anytime you want. We also will have an event later on.
Got you. So I'm probably just going to talk to them directly.
Mhm.
That sense of camaraderie is very important.
In the workplace.
Ooh, the dog bite's healing up real good.
And I miss Jerry.
So I'm going to I'm gonna walk in.
How you do, fellow employees?
I'm going to. So, have I ever actually? So, that's always been a joke, right? That I release the dogs into the
Has it been a joke? I thought I was canon.
That should be a joke.
How should we roll?
Evens or odds? No.
Odds.
3.
It's always been a joke.
No.
It's always been a joke. And a threat that I've given Boglin.
I didn't think it was a joke, Patrick.
Clearly wasn't a joke. Really not.
It clearly was not, but that's awesome. But I win. So,
You win. Just win.
I'm gonna walk in. And firstly, I'm gonna say
Wow, it's the guy who's been enslaving us.
I'm going to look around. So, which of the goblins seems to be most popular? Seems to be very well liked.
I don't know why I just read it.
Yeah, I was like,
Do they have an elder? Like the oldest member something. Communal grandpa.
Gurkle.
Urkel.
Gurkle.
Gurkel.
Gurkle.
Urkel. Okay, so I walk up to Urkel.
Gurkle. Come, Gurk. His name is Gurku. Gurku.
If it's just Urkel, I'm killing him on the spot.
Not think.
No, Urkel. I want it to be Urkel.
We're not part of the revolution.
Gurku. Gurku.
So I go up to Gurku.
He's missing an arm.
How'd you lose that, buddy?
Gertrude,
Oh, Rukter!
it's good to see you. So, when did you lose your arm?
Fucking doing that tape.
Has he lost his arm for a long time?
A couple years ago. Stop doing that. You're hitting the table underneath.
I'm sorry.
Gertrude, your work efficiency has gone down ever since you've lost that arm.
I'm so sorry, sir. I lost it to the hydraulic press. Dang it.
So, I've heard that all the goblins need to be top efficiency, and they suggest you shoot terrible things to me. They've developed this thing called Serpent B.
What's that, sir?
I don't know, but it's designed to kill. And I just want you to know, watch your back. That no one has to know about this.
And I take out a transmutation potion and a health potion. And can I restore his arm?
Huh. Okay, so transmutation's not work like that. Roll an intelligence check with disadvantage.
And I just want to know, should I instead give him ask Tate to give him ask Boglin to give him a robotic arm, or does it matter how suspicious it is if he just grows back a new arm?
Either one will be very suspicious. Maybe having a new arm won't be as suspicious
Okay, yeah, because got you.
than him just being an old winter soldier.
So, intelligence. Come on.
This-
8 plus 11? 8 plus 11, 19?
I did say disadvantage.
Disadvantage? 13.
Damn it.
So 19?
Okay. You mix together the healing and the transmutation potion, and so you smash it over his.
I pour it onto his arm, and he watches as a brand new, strong, young arm appears.
Human arm.
In fact,
Beautiful.
he actually,
Non-goblin arm.
It's way too heavy for him.
and he actually ends up aging. He actually gets a little bit younger.
Oh.
Now, Gertrude, you know what orcs? You know what orcs are, correct?
Yes.
Goblinoids. Goblinoids.
Sure. You're also whispering very quietly. I don't think the microphone can pick you up.
Orcs are goblinoids.
Sure.
Now, I've been working for years trying to earn your guys. I've been working for years to help you get out of these therapy camps. I've been working for years to prepare for the day that I can get all of my brethren, out of these camps. Get them back to where you rightfully belong. Atop these filthy humans. Switches every once in a while. I've been working to free you, to free my brothers and my sisters. And Gertrude, I want you to help me. And take this brand new arm and these extra few years of your life as a sign of good faith. I trust you, Gertrude. And I know and I know everyone else trusts you as well. I've noticed. Now, I need you to help me get word around. You're going quieter and quieter. I need you to help me get word around that a revolution is forming. And
Anything for you, Rukta? Thank you for the new arm. He shakes your hand with his new arm.
all praise Rukter. All
He doesn't say that.
I don't think either. I won't say.
Sit.
Say things. I pick him up by his throat.
You actually,
that arm.
did you actually say "I'll hail Rukter"?
No.
Okay. Um,
So
If you actually get more people than me, I'm going to be outraged.
very, very likely possibility.
remember the Goblinoid Brotherhood. Listen. We're gonna break you out of your bonds. We're gonna break you out of your chains.
And so, obviously, goblins are. I assume that there's like some system of like divide or such, and I'm going to keep going around. How many goblins have is there a certain goblin with like obviously a very terminal illness?
There are a couple goblins who have late stage cancer.
I shouldn't let them know I've had this cure for a while.
You bet. Why am I so...
Obviously, potion of transmutation. So, how many potions can I make?
I'm gonna say for plot, as many as you need for healing these goblins.
For healing the goblins, right? So I'm going to walk up to a few of them, having proven that my first mixture already works. And works far better than I thought it would. I'm going to walk up to these goblins, and I'm going to say,
I've noticed you've not been doing very well.
You're speaking incredibly quietly.
I've noticed you've not been doing very well.
I'm whispering.
I've noticed you haven't been doing very well. You seem to have been sickly.
I don't know what it is, but every time I eat, I just vomit it straight out. I have this weird growth on the side of my stomach.
I want you to know that I've gotten a message from the higher-ups that I should work to try and improve the production. And all goblins that don't need it are sent to a therapy camp. As it's I am to send all the goblins that don't meet their production quotas to a therapy camp. They're terrible places. And a place that you're not going.
And I put the healing potion, transmutation potion on him.
We're going to get you and all of your people out of those therapy camps. We're going to break these chains. We're going to free your people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rukter.
He's holding a gun!
No, he's like holding your hand. He pulled his string lock pistol. He pulled out his mask and been following all along.
And so I'm going to go around and I'm going to say,
Here's a cure. Like me. Here's a cure. Like me. Like
and I'm
me.
going to tell them all.
You go to the top of like a balcony and you scream at them, free healthcare for all of you! And the policy wars have begun.
And so the policy wars. I'm every time that Boglin comes up to me and asks for that cancer cure, I'm going to say, "What? I don't know what you're talking about."
You're a best.
What? Me? Because I'm not that smart.
Boglin walks
But
up
thank
to you. I assume you're going to walk up to him. Are you going to walk up to him or no?
Yes.
But first, I want to set up like a meeting place with all these goblins as to where.
I'm going to settle that separately.
Got you.
If you mind.
Okay.
You can go to your place if you want.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to like brainstorm an idea. Like, how do I get all of these goblins into my basement?
Into your dark, freshly carved out basement filled with machinery and robots and factory equipment.
Wait, on the break, can I find a group of like a large group of goblins?
What?
Like during like lunch, can I like find a large group of goblins and pull them aside?
Okay, wow. So you just want to skip all the RP.
No,
That's the only way you
this
can
is
win.
part of the RP.
That's the only way you can
I
win.
want to see speech.
But yeah,
Oh,
how many?
during lunch in the game?
Yes.
Okay, I mean like when we go out for lunch, as we break for the podcast, we go out to like a restaurant and eat. Can my character just say something? I don't know what I'm gonna say.
So-
Just some random jarble and get all these goblins to my side. I roll a d20. Oh, natural 20. Okay, I do it. Okay, see you guys.
How many goblins do I heal? Can I roll 3d6?
I think it's 9. 9 had like terminal illnesses.
9 terminal illnesses. Any just like regularly ill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Lunch.
I'll go over. And
I think Rukter legitimately just went up to a balcony and said, free healthcare for all of you! Healthcare for all!
I pull out like a trough filled with healing potion.
You have a ladle just splash in the face.
Just really dehumanizing. Just horrible. Evil fucking ways of giving.
We are all a brotherhood.
No, you eat outside.
and I just go around and I let all of them know. And I just let them know the second coming has arrived.
You bastard.
Yes, my child, I am here.
Child.
Your goal is to start a cult.
And
Do I find a group like pull aside a group of goblins?
I think first we should have some interaction between you and
Rukter.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I know what Rukter is doing.
Gigor is watching all of this from the balcony, just crying.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I go to Gigor.
Wow, you get your one supporter. Okay, yeah, you go to Igor.
No. I want more.
You turn into a Terminator.
I say to
I'll
Jigo.
build you, Igor.
Turn him into RoboCop. Like full on, just a scene where he shows where like Tay just holds up a mirror to him and just shows him all of his exposed like organs. I built you better, Igor.
You remember the plan you told me about what you wanted to do? I feel like Tate's gonna end up doing that.
Playing with what to do.
Yeah, there's gonna be a different reveal.
I go to Jigor and I say, Jigor,
Does it upset you? Don't you want to just...
Jigor, sense your pain, your anger towards him.
He's crying blood.
Even though you've suffered greatly, even before you met Rukter, he's further deformed you.
No.
No!
Didn't you?
I was born like this.
Oh, that was a joke. Oh,
Yeah, the joke was he comes with a handful of deformities.
Oh,
How would you even know about that if it happened 6 years ago?
When you weren't even.
no, never. No, I thought there was a portion where Rukter turned Jigor into something.
Gaslighting Igor,
I don't
Igor.
think. No, I think Patrick joked about turning to a homunculi.
Okay, no. I didn't know that was a joke. Never mind. I
Means,
don't.
yeah, technically, you just murder someone. You can use their own material to make a homunculi.
I say to Jigor, you realize that Rukter's never going to help heal you.
He promised it.
Well, why doesn't he do it now? Why doesn't he attempt to now?
Must not be able to.
No. I pat Jigor on the back.
To be fair, look at him.
He removes a raccoon skin from his stomach covered in acid and potatoes.
Jigor,
Yes.
I can build
Could I use
technology
the...
that can help you, that can heal you.
You can?
I can.
How?
Oh, you. I will replace all your bones. Don't even worry about it. I really hope you turn to him. I really hope you turn
I don't want to. I don't want to turn him into a cyborg. I just want to make
You
him.
don't have to. You don't have to. But it's really funny. That's Boglin's ego.
Are we counting how many goblins you have?
No.
No, I'm recalculating my health just in case.
No. I say to Jigor,
In early battles.
Jigor, I can build you technology, machines that can do surgeries that can fix things like your hip. You'll be able to walk normally.
He goes.
He hugs Jigor. So along with the tanks, I'm gonna build Jigor a surgery machine that can help him.
You practice on the grape.
Yeah. Anyways, before I do my speech to a big group of goblins, I'll talk to Rukter.
I'm just now imagining what the goblins what their reactions will be when they go into the basement and see a bunch of like distilling tanks and a bunch of chemistry equipment, a bunch of tanks and production lines, a bunch of barrels of steel, carved out tunnels and caves being dug actively by robots, and in just this machine that fills a room. Connected to it a bunch of bone saws and scalpels and suction machines, and there's a full body harness, empty but used. They're like, we're gonna be killed. No one go down.
I go to Rukter and I say, "What progress have we made on our army?"
Army?
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
I don't know.
You guys have made no progress.
I don't know. You said you wanted RP, but from me and Rukter, but
Rukter, you look
You came
upon
to me
Boglin.
like worm tongue to like Saruman. I was like,
What is happening?
What?
You walk up to Rukter, and Rukter, you see Boglin, bruised, swollen around his body, especially in the arms and legs.
sorry, I had to get the lactic acid building or build up going.
I just walk in. He just like walks. He like starts like doing jumping jacks and
Moving forward.
like one moving forward.
Boglin, I think I need to talk to you. I don't think you would make a very good general. I don't think you would inspire the goblins very well.
I take out a bone saw and I saw off Rukter's hand.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I pour the transmutation elf potion back on.
Like Resident Evil style.
This is your first sign, the first sign of even the slightest problem. You turn to the most psychopathic solution. That didn't even solve it.
you're a good general.
Listen, Boglin, I don't think you inspire the goblins very well,
And then you try and like, and then you assault me.
Boglin. So yes, I think it's about now that we start thinking about how we approach the goblins, how we get them from this factory into. Well, first off, I also need to say, it's sort of bad framing to say we're going to free you, then immediately bring them to a factory underneath the factory. I think the factory should first off be automated, and we should be training them rather than making.
That is a good idea.
Your voice.
I
That is a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Barber, holy shit.
What's up, man?
You've been talking like this for a while.
I agree with your sentiment. I agree with your sentiment. I feel like it would fare well for us to place the goblins in an environment like this.
This is a great audio recording. I'm really happy about it.
Is it?
Is it coming out all right?
No, I'm just joking because this is so we're going everywhere. We're all over the place.
So, I believe. So first off, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll let you. You know what? I think you're very, very capable. I think you're very capable of being an emotional, strong, and sympathetic leader to these guys.
So special. Is it?
Now, we need to think very much about how well documented the goblins are.
How well documented are the goblins?
What does that mean?
Like, what I mean is, they notice if like 50 of them went missing from my factory.
You'll notice a lot went missing. I mean, they do spot checks.
Need to grow in power, goblin. My power.
Your face starts to slowly become the form.
Good.
They would not notice if a couple went missing. But also like there are spot checks, right? So, but maybe you can like I don't know, like bribe the spot checkers.
Bribe the spot checkers? Would the orc happen to be the spot checker?
He's an accountant. No,
If I roll 20 minutes.
very close, but no.
I think it should count.
Not 20.
Bullshit. It's a 19.
Yeah, it's a 19.
I think that is a
Not 20! Not 20!
Not
7!
20! Not 20!
It's 10. It's been 8. It's been 7, 8, 9, and 10.
It's going up.
Anyways,
So, only a few of them can go. Only a few of them are allowed. So I'm gonna put a limit on, say about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to select 3. I'm going to select 4 goblins. And these goblins
Be loyal to me.
will be leaders, generals, and one will be my apprentice.
What? What? Nothing.
Don't know what you're talking about, Boglin. I want you to train one of them to be a tinkerer.
Just as good as you.
Just as good as you. We could use so many more just like you.
Okay, Rukter.
5 plus 7. 12 to check. 12 charisma check to convince you. That's a fun.
Did you roll?
Yep. I'm gonna give myself advantage because I'm just such a nice guy. It's just 30.
You are a politician, right?
Yes.
So you would, I think you would. Is
19.
it advantage or do you just get like a +1?
I get a +2, I think.
Well, I rolled a 19.
I got a
Ah.
15.
I convince you.
What's your charisma?
I have a
No.
+7, so +2 would be +9 in total. So 19, actually.
I convince you to throw yourself out the window.
That's not how it works.
14.
You
Oh,
Okay, you guys are actively antagonistic. I don't think you guys should be like that.
we're really antagonistic to one another. So, only about 3 or 4 goblins. I have some military training, so I can teach them mostly.
What was this place open to? 5 or. Let me double check.
His Google says 5.
Google says 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need to wrap up before a break.
I think we're gonna have to move to a new location.
Yeah. I think Keener Park.
Yeah, maybe. We could also maybe try my house if Muhammad's not there. I don't know.
Who's Muhammad?
The guy who works on our basement. My dad's friend. The guy who you
I
said
promise I won't.
you're going to. There are readers among us. Wow. Okay, so you guys are going to pick out 4 goblins to fake their deaths, and then you're going to turn them into generals, military generals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying really close to this window. Hope nothing happens to me. Whoa, 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 whoa! He ducks out of the corner. He grabs a puppet, throws out the window. Oh my god! This guy's name, his exact name and age. He's dead. Oh my god! Oh, his body's catching on fire.
I'm gonna say this might be disturbing to you, and I'm going to pull out the transmuted corpse of a raccoon in the shape of a goblin.
You're gonna
And,
put
like,
polycola on the
in-
body.
No, it's like a transmuted corpse.
That's not how transmutation works.
Okay.
Polycola makes something look like something else. Transmutation, they appear the exact same, but they're made out of different material.
Okay, so drink this. I hand him an invisibility potion, and I hand them I hand him a polycola
corpse of a raccoon. A polycola to look like them.
Don't worry, they were dead before I gave them the potion.
Don't worry. It was roadkill. It's like got a bullet in its head. Obviously strangled.
Now, throw it out the window.
And
You do 4 at a time.
so yeah, I'm gonna do this with all 4 goblins.
Well, man, this place is really unsafe.
And I'm going to
You
make
live in
sure.
the basement now.
Yeah.
I like to imagine it's happening all on the same day.
Yeah.
The same hour.
So-
They're all trying to save the other one, and they're all dying.
And so, actually, wait a second.
It's like they're leaping out. It's like one of them jumps out the window. The other one tries to go and grab their legs to hold on, but then they get out the window, and then the other one goes to grab onto their legs, but then they get out the window.
If I were to say sabotage one of my own machines so that they would explode.
Falling out the window's fine. I'm just saying it's funny. Not that it won't
No,
work.
seriously, if I were to say sabotage one of my machines so that they would explode, would that possibly allow for the death toll to be higher? For the total amount of goblins that I could get into the underground factory.
Yeah.
Boglin,
I'm sure you
I have something very, very important for you.
And I pull out like 16 dead raccoons.
So, this looks.
Hear me out.
So, how many could I get away with? What do you think?
Okay, it'd be very. I mean,
Should I?
I don't think suspiciousness matters because the thing is that even people will know it. This is a terrible government. They don't care about these people. So they're not going to really care.
How much manpower could I afford to lose?
5 to 10%.
5 to 10%?
Yeah, you have like 300 goblins.
300, so
So it's like 15 to 30.
15 to 30?
Which is a lot.
Boglin. This machine, this machine, I want you to rig it to. Now, I know you're going to get excited and not listen to half of what I have to say. I want you to rig it to explode. Pay attention, pay attention. I know you like that word. Now, if you
Move?
I mean, like the word explode, lightning.
I want you to rig it to explode. And I'm going to have about 30 goblins working on it. All of them will have one of these.
And I pull out a raccoon. That's polycolor to look like a raccoon. That's polycolor to look like a goblin.
All of these. Now, first off, they're all going to be on fire, so they're not going to be recognizable. And I'll have my personal detail handle.
You stuff them to like a furnace and you're just like, oh no, the furnace is exploding.
So I want you to rig this to explode, and then 30 goblins, who are all invisible, will be following you. All 30 goblins will be heading down to the basement as fast as possible. Right? We will have a total of 30.
And so I enact that plan. Do we need to roll anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say for plot reasons, you know.
So for 30 goblins,
So 30 goblins are all in the basement now.
Is the explosion going to happen like above the entrance? We're just doing construction here. Don't worry about it. Don't check over there.
And I'm going to be... And the cleanup detail? Entirely goblins. And those goblins I will inform of the revolution. And I will say, listen, I gave you free healthcare. You see this? You see this? I hold up a raccoon skull that's being burned. There's a revolution. It's absolutely horrifying.
To the goblins in the basement, can I give them my speech to convince them?
Okay.
No.
There will be an event. You guys are like, oh yeah, sure, the event.
So we've got 30 in total.
Because I don't know what Patrick has planned, and I want to ensure that I win this.
Okay. So, as you guys are saying this, your roommate comes up to you. He's not been working today. He's been just nonstop on the telegram lines, the secret telegram lines.
What is it?
Your voice is so different. What is it?
What is it? What is it?
Wait, hold on. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So to Gurkyu, I'm going to take the ring that I was supposed to give to Tate, and I'm going to say, Gurkyu, my loyal son. I want you to have this.
What was your ring again?
The ring to communicate with the,
I'm gonna say, all right, yeah, they gave you your personal
They
pen.
gave both of them to me.
You
Gurkyu.
gonna do this?
No! I feel like the twins wouldn't be dumb enough to trust
No,
Rukter.
The twins would not be. The twins would not follow that at all. Best case scenario, they would hand me Gertie's severed head. I don't know how he got that. I will.
Accidents happen every day.
I will just conveniently forget to give it to Boglin though.
So, Boglin's roommate comes up to the both of you. He says, okay, I've been talking with a lot of people, with a lot of goblins here, and a lot of goblins from other factories. And I think I've created a sizable force. This is not a force for a full-scale revolution. He looked at you. But it's enough to start. Okay? It's about 87 people from outside this factory. And I've also gotten like 100 people from here fully signed up, fully on board. I told them that we're going to have an event. We're going to have an event tonight here in the factory. I think that's probably the safest place to be, right? Where we can all talk and plan together. I have some friends who are great caterers. They'll be cooking a great meal.
Classic stew.
Yeah, better than classic stew. What?
That was my mother's recipe you're talking about.
And you gave it to the chefs.
You said something's better than classic stew?
Yeah.
I like how your eyes just went completely like glazed out. That's actually terrifying. That's terrifying. How do you even do that? How do you glaze your eyes over like that?
I just do it.
Be careful.
I actually have 204 health.
Even I.
As after Boglin's roommate speaks, you hear an announcement on the speakers saying, "The power will go off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1." The lights and all the power goes out. All your power tools are on gas powered stop.
My weed washed.
So do you think Tate made all the takes today?
I had
Do you have the time?
In like, how long has it been?
It's all of this been happening in a single day.
Single
You've been very productive.
I don't think so. I think that should be something that happens in a while.
Tate, roll a d20, a d12.
However, if he does, I think that within reason, Tate, if he completes all like 50 of them,
6. Roll again. Pick the highest.
Yeah.
You made 12 advanced things today. Oh, what are you saying, Patrick?
I think that if you were to make all that, I think you should be in the basement all day. How many goblins have you gotten to our halls? 1?
He helped. Don't be a jerk.
I want to give like a big rousing speech.
I know. We're all suffering. We all hate each other, Wolverheart. You walk off stage. Thank you for. Okay. We are back. We are in the park. We just ate the worst Mexican food of our life.
It wasn't. I've had worse Mexican food.
Tate ate the wrong burrito and was completely oblivious to his cheesesteak burrito and a side of beans and
Did it
salad.
even have cheese in it?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. In the fucking name, there's supposed to be.
What was also the ratio of steak to everything else?
It was chock full of steak.
Did they just have like one burrito and just didn't want to admit it?
I had chicken. But I also asked for chicken. I mean, I did.
You asked for
say
chicken, but like only like chicken and rice.
I didn't momentarily say only chicken and rice.
Only.
I mean, did any
I didn't clarify it, so that's not completely on their fault. It's more on their fault they didn't wrap my burrito. Mine was like wrapped this way. It wasn't wrapped on the sides.
You know who you are.
Burrito perfecto.
Burrito Perfecto. That's not the name of the place. It's just the dish Maboot got.
Also, the place.
No, it's the
No,
it's
that's
the
the
meal that I ordered and you ate. I wanted the burrito perfecto, and you
Also-
stole it from me.
Also, the
Go
restaurant
back and
misspelled cheese.
They misspelled a lot of things.
They misspelled a lot of things. But
We
also,
died like 3 times on our way.
yeah, we nearly died 3 times on the way there. Then we got into a bunch of we got into the wrong lanes a couple times on the way to the park, leaving. Another thing is that on Google Maps, it had a completely different name than the sign had.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like Quasso.
Well, it didn't even have a
Mates?
sign. Well, actually,
Yeah, it had a sign, but it just had a different title. It was Quasso something.
and it said the new Oasis as well. It had like 3 titles on the front door, and it
That's a
was like,
secondary title.
They also were selling. They were also selling a fucking printer in the restaurant, like on the garbage can.
yeah, just as a side dish.
Okay, it's not picking up the wind.
Oh, that's
Good.
nice.
Yeah, but our spikes are much bigger. What are you doing?
I'm setting it up to block the wind.
It doesn't. You don't need to. It's fine. It's not picking it up.
But on the plus side, I got some dice.
Yeah. So no more bullshit rolls.
I'm still gonna bullshit roll.
No, you're not. I guarantee this is going to change it. This is going to begin a new
Watch
era of
this.
Tate.
20. That was pretty close. 20. 20. 20.
Keep rolling.
40.
15.
I thought you were rolling a d4 for a
Four.
moment, and I was like,
20. 8.
Okay.
15.
Where did we leave off?
15.
There was a blackout, and Boglin's roommate, whose name is...
Spoglin.
No, it's not Spoglin. His name is...
I honestly forgot.
Geff.
Geff.
Yeah, Goblin Jeff. Okay.
Geff. Joblin.
Jabeth? Jabeth.
Jabeff.
Tate's roommate, Gabeth.
Kabika.
Boglin.
Yeah,
Boglin's roommate, Boglin.
It's a very popular name.
Boglin, too. His roommate told him how he assembled a big group of like 180 goblins and supporters, and they're going to all meet up in the factory tonight. Okay. Let me see my better.
What's your charisma stat?
Neutral.
Neutral?
Yep.
Maybe you should let me speak.
No. No, I'm not letting you gain an army. I want an army to kill you.
Yeah, that's part of your speech.
One swim down.
I'm going to ask this from both of you guys. Don't actively be working against each other. Because, like, I get you guys are working against each other, but here's the thing. There's not much reason for you guys to be fighting against each other. It's, like, in-game reasons. You guys are gaming, but I'm not going to allow you guys to go that far.
We're playing with each other. So we need to play with each other instead
Yeah.
of against, you know? Because, let's be honest, if it really came down to it, like, Boglin would expose me, and then I would expose Boglin, and then we would both be murdered.
Yeah, this would be like... That's true to you guys.
Okay, send the Vulture Patrol over and just, like, deal with them, I guess. Then we would get swarmed.
Wow, so he started the genocide, and he doesn't give a shit.
No, we retconned that.
No, we retconned it, but you have not acted on that retcon.
I'm trying. I haven't had much time.
Kill it. I'll make you disappear.
Okay, I thought he was gonna snitch on me.
And your first instinct is to confirm his beliefs. Well, you have no weapons.
I have my. I'm thinking about changing my flamethrower into a
Tesla cannon?
No, not into a Tesla cannon, a pulse rifle.
Using lightning.
No, it doesn't use lightning.
Okay.
What would it use?
Turbina gas.
No, it's picking up the swings. That's fine. So what do you guys choose to do? First of all, do you guys have dark vision?
No.
I do.
Toggling, you cannot see. You have disadvantage on all perception checks. You can see within 60 feet.
Discombobulated.
Okay, should we have a time jump forward, or should we just continue playing on from this moment? Let's continue playing on from this moment. It's fine. Okay, so what do you guys choose to do?
I'm gonna. Can I build the things I wanted to build?
Yes.
Yes.
How much scrap will it be?
You said we had 10 days worth.
Yes.
How much
But how-
does that translate to alchemy supplies?
Well, we had a whole. You guys wrote down all the rules we came up in that Discord call. So why are you asking me?
I mean, we wrote it down mainly for Tinkerer. No.
Yeah. Was it like you get the supplies for one of your potions? For one of each potion every day? But only for the ingredients. No, it was I think it said you get all the all of like the chemically ingredients you get automatically from your laboratory, right? If you're making those potions in the laboratory.
Okay.
But all the other ingredients you have to source yourself, like the skunk's tail. Shunk's tail.
the shunk.
It's gonna be a real animal. In
I
this
need
game.
1,000 scrap.
I think it was 200 to 400 scrap.
Yeah.
A day.
Oh, yeah, I surpassed that.
Yeah, you're fine. You lose like half your scrap.
I'm gonna say that. Can that go to the assembly line and G-Gore's medical machine?
Yes. So you're out of scrap.
Yes, for now.
Yeah.
I build G-Gore.
So this is Igor surgery.
Yes, he's
Roll a imagination check. Oh, a 10!
no.
It was a nat 20.
Yeah.
So, tell me what happens to G-Gore because I'm legitimately afraid. I'm afraid you put like secret nanobots into his body, and you're just gonna go, and the end you're just going, G-Gore! He's gonna turn into a Terminator.
Why did I put down Five Nights at Freddy's mind control disc as one of the requests for you to make? Five Nights at Freddy's.
I remember this.
Why did I put that?
I remember this. It was you can control people.
G-Gore, after the machines finish cutting, slicing, sewing, G-Gore arises.
No anesthesia.
No, I gave him anesthesia. I'm nice.
Mm-hmm.
He arises. He's a buff, strong-looking man. He's now 6 feet tall. He has perfect legs, perfect hips. He is physically a physically elite specimen. He's buff.
It's Chris Evans.
He's strong,
It's Chris Evans.
charismatic.
Who does he look like?
I'm gonna say he looks like. Hello, everybody. It's Markiplier here.
No. Who does he look like?
Oh shit!
He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
God.
He's not.
Oh my stomach!
Does he have Are you okay? Oh my God, my neck's... My neck's...
Ah, that hurts. It just fucking hurts.
Should we say the name of this restaurant to warn people? I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna
No
watch
one's
it.
listening.
They're all of you.
Yeah, they're me, they're us, maybe our families. And this
God.
actually does blow up for like some
How
weird
bad is it?
reason.
I'm not feeling anything right now.
It's just
It's like a constant like pain. Where is it? Is it like in your side?
it's like it's like
That's the exact spot too.
This triggers appendicitis.
just like
It like immediately kills you.
I think it would be because of how fast you guys ate those really thick, filled with beef burritos.
well, I didn't eat it too fast. I wasn't choking on it.
I mean, yeah, I guess I think I just ate it slower than both of you guys, and I'm not fearing, and I'm not feeling anything. But it might just been the beef as well. Maybe the beef has some problem with it.
Mad cow disease.
Probably not.
Fuck you. I'm feeling aggressive for some reason.
Okay, stop it. We're in a public place. Public place because you're choking each other.
It's I can't reach. Because, hold out your arm.
Fucking God. We're in a public park right now. There's kids right next to us, and they're both choking each other.
Shoulder to shoulder. Hold on, arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see? Your arm is like a full.
It's like a full.
And even then, I'm going like this, so it's probably like a full. Yeah, it's a full foot longer than mine. Whatever.
Patrick's short.
Yeah,
Speaking of shorts,
He's actually shorter than James Madison.
that's.
speaking of shorts, G-Gore
G-Gore,
now looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
a younger one,
Yeah, a
Like-
younger one.
like when he was in his prime.
Yes.
Intruder!
Did you give him a metal endoskeleton?
Maybe. Well, I would have had to fix his hip.
Yeah, most of his bones are warped. So. Yeah, they replace all of them.
Is Jigor grateful?
He comes out. He's like, did you grow muscle, or did you just put in like silicone implants?
Chico,
I grew muscle. I pumped him full of steroids.
how much of his bones are left?
How much bones did you? Well, that's willingly taken.
Well, no. How many bones does he have left? Because he might not. He might run out of blood in a few hours. It's the bone marrow that makes the blood. So how much? I noticed that he's 6 feet taller. His skull shape is different. His hip is gone.
Spine reconstructed.
I'm gonna say since I rolled a nat 20, I did it perfectly, and there's
You
no
install
problem.
a secondary organ. It's filled with a bunch of bone fragments. Blood.
What does Jigor
I
say?
am perfect. Jigo says,
Thank you, master.
No, I fixed his voice to be.
no, his voice has no problem with it. That's how he sounds. Oh, okay. So you fix his voice, making it sound like a rural Austrian man.
No, he's like, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, master. Thank you, Boglin. I am beautiful.
Jigor, how many bones did he take out of you?
I don't know. Look at the pile.
Just see an entire skeleton.
His eyes are glowing red for some reason.
Jigor, what's my birthday?
He says your birthday.
April 32nd.
Did you give him brain implants? What did you do to him? I need a list.
I'm gonna have to give that to you in private.
So yeah, he's a weapon against him. Whatever. Sure. With Jigor's consent, you're just gonna go, Jigor, now! And he goes, what? The cat's gonna pop out of his chest. Like, helicopter propellers are gonna come out of his shoulder blades, and he's gonna turn into a helicopter.
What did you do to Jigor, Boglin?
I fixed him where you failed.
You didn't try anything.
You didn't do anything to help him. I did.
We brought him to a vet.
To be fair, this transmutation healing potion was actually an experiment. I was not sure it would work.
You dance on the goblins.
I do not say that in front of the goblin.
That's why I tested all of them.
That's why I use the old man.
I could get rid of them very easily. Oh, so cool.
But yes, I would have helped. Eventually.
Yeah.
That's the difference between you and me, Rukter. I act.
Your voice is different. Your voice.
We're past voices at this point. We've changed it so many times.
Nope. No, we haven't.
We shall see. Stop
Hey,
jerking off.
stop.
Enough of that.
I see a red door and I want
Boglin, this is the difference between you and me. I don't master people.
Guys, we are in public. There is literal children.
Just to clear the record, I was just slapping my knees. I was just slapping my knees.
Sometimes I feel like I hang around with a bunch of children who I need to constantly parent around because they just do weird things around normal people.
He started it.
They need to fucking be prepared to catch them before they fall.
So,
A Mexican.
Oasis revenge. Oh.
The Oasis takes its toll.
oh, fuck. It's like,
You just bird shit by
I
the way.
maybe she need to drive home.
ow. That's just so fucking
I
painful.
think it's the beef. I think it's the beef because I'm not feeling anything. Maybe I'm going to feel something soon, but so far I'm not feeling anything.
No, you get like massive diarrhea.
I might need to get
Sure.
up in a few minutes.
White as shit.
Yeah.
Bathroom. Bathroom.
I should go now.
Okay, I'm gonna pause everything. Okay, we are back. Tate just told me his plan. That was very obvious.
I mean, yeah, but there was one part where I wanted to keep secret.
Yeah.
It's not Terminator related.
And we are back. Patrick, how are you feeling?
I've never felt my body produce shit that fast. It just wanted it out.
Maybe it was the donuts. Maybe it's unrelated to the Mexican food.
Maybe, but like
You guys
that
both
was
had
like-
those. You guys both had those powdered donuts.
I mean, that was like
Cola and the powdered sugar.
that was a solid like
Long time ago.
yeah, like 6 hours ago. It would not be hitting now.
No, I think it was the Mexican.
Yeah, it's definitely Mexican food. I think it was the beef. I'm pretty sure it was the beef.
Or the onions, because we both had onions.
I don't think onions would be causing this. I think beef that was out for a long period of time.
I've eaten a lot of I've eaten raw onion before, man. I love onions.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
definitely the beef. You guys are both had beef burritos. I didn't. I'm fine.
I don't even shit that. I don't even need to shit.
Okay,
I
so-
think Patrick just got the worst end of
What's Rukter's
Yeah, you
experience?
ate my food. And now I'm suffering your consequences.
So far, today's been a lot of Tate just ignoring and refusing to remember any things that happened today.
But anyways,
So, what's your reaction to new G-Gore?
I think the first part is I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this is. I'm just like well, it looks like I'm gonna have to put a new order for assistant in. Oh well.
Good to see you try.
I know. I know exactly what's going on. And I have a plan to deal with it.
EMP. Transmute him to a chicken.
How much of his so Tate's not a doctor. Not a doctor at
He
all.
guessed.
So 90% of this
He's an engineer. So what I assume is that because he doesn't know any of the internal organs, he just replaced all of them.
I'm going to say to Gigor, can you feel this? And I'm going to run my finger down his hand.
Give me dice.
Can you feel this, Gigor?
Give me dice.
What die?
D20. Okay. It's 15. I feel nothing.
Right, that's going to drive you to insanity.
I feel nothing over my body. Oh my god. I can't feel anything. I can't feel the wind.
Well,
I can't feel my tongue.
this is why you don't accept medical.
You look at his mouth. His tongue has been just cut up to bits as he keeps biting on it.
Now, Gigor, this is
G-Gore, I'll
why.
fix it. I'll fix it, G-Gore. Some advancements to make him feel.
Stop!
And I pull out the anesthetic and I say, "This is why you don't accept medical procedures. This is not you accept.
This was the first thing. Fine.
This is why you don't accept medical procedures from strangers." And I put it back on.
What is that, by the way?
And I point to the tank that he put Gigor under.
What is that?
Zircon B. He's like that.
You roll.
Yeah, let's roll.
Evens or odds, Tate?
No, I'm just saying it's like below a 5. Tate should roll. It's below a 5 if you give him Zircon B. 1. You can give him Zircon. Chico! I know.
It's just going to be a scene of Boglin putting it over his mouth, and then just me watching as Jigor starts to sweat, and he can twitch and seizure, and I'm like, stop!
Antidote now!
And I'm going to use the healing potion and transmutation potion to turn Boglin.
Back.
Yeah, turn him.
I'm back to my boy. It hurts.
So I'm going to try and
I don't
turn
like
him.
this. I'm going to say because he's mostly machine. He's definitely mostly machine at this point. The Zircon B does not have as much of a deadly effect. It did work as an anesthetic, like, because he doesn't have much flesh to kill. So
He should roll a Constitution.
yeah. What's his modifier?
Dude.
He's different now. Before it would probably be a negative, but now he's different.
Well, that depends on how much Tate put into his modifier.
I'll add a D4. Yeah, we should probably do it 3. 3 and 9. Okay, that's a 12.
I don't think that's enough.
Let's roll what he needs to get.
Because it's designed to kill goblins, which all have goblin gut.
1. That was a 7. But also doesn't count.
Because Zircon B, you have to really remember that all goblins have goblin gut. So it is designed to kill people with very hardy immune systems.
It's fine. I can rebuild him. I can fix it. I'm just going to make a robot. Run the machine. This machine still runs. So he raises up. As a knife goes into his spine, cuts him down laterally.
That's just in front. Is this in front of all of the goblin rebels?
No, this is happening to the party. No, I made him better. I made him better. I made him better. Okay, Verbo, Moses being caused by jokes we made up.
So I would say
I'm gonna say he's not dead. He's not dead. He is very unconscious though. He's in a medically induced coma, accidentally. He can be awoken though. Like forever. Accidentally, he can be awoken though with like an adrenaline shot or something. Like he is. His anesthetic is a deadly gas.
it's a deadly gas designed to kill people who are immune to poison.
If it wasn't for the fact that his lungs have been replaced with vacuums, he'd be dead. You get this skilled. You see, as you guys are slowly arguing, he's being cut even more by this machine.
You
Also, did you even program even a procedure?
Yes, I did.
What was the procedure?
It was to give him like sensation.
You see this sewing machine come out of gold wire and just go into his skin. You're building him a new nervous system.
how much scrap is that?
Hundreds. So we have 100 scrap for a new nervous system.
Fine.
I
I want G-Gor to be fine. I want G-Gor to be okay. I like G-Gor. I also want to use him as a weapon.
That's how you see people.
This is like this. You are literally just building a weapon right in front of me, telling me its purpose, and then expecting.
It's fine. There's a jet engine in his chest cavity.
I didn't know. I feel like Boglin knows Rukter knows.
You made him look like a little Terminator. You could choose anyone. You could choose Zac Efron, but you chose Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, let's check. That's the only like buff guy I can think of.
Have killed my assistant.
He's still alive.
Barely.
He's being. What's the term again?
Put my assistant into an iron lung.
Installing lungs. Being bolted into the last real vertebra he has.
Now,
I mean, I'd argue that he's happier. He's still bringing Berserk on me.
So you described him as like up like this. So he's like suspended by his arms, like he's being like crucified with like a saw blade for his chest.
I also imagine it's like open surgery, right? No sterilization. No.
All of the goblins just sterilization. Just get it.
You guys are fucking up. You guys are screwing up my fucking thing. I had a vision for this. It'd be all awesome and triumphant. Like, I fixed G-Core, everyone. I fixed G-Core. How come Patrick can cure cancer, but I can't?
He rolled a 20.
I rolled a 22.
You did.
You did. That's true. That's true. Okay, what I'm gonna say is all canon. No one saw it. Only you two. I love how you guys were arguing. He's still going. Oh. And now that you've removed the mask, he's coming to.
I find an actual anesthetic.
He's screaming.
Before he comes to, I put on an actual. I make sure
You can
Do an intelligence check.
intelligence check. Come on. God.
What was it?
9 plus my modifier, which is like 13, so 22. I find the right canister. Fix G-Gore. He's fine. G-Gore's good. Everything is fine.
I feel now, but differently. I feel God going through my veins. I don't feel normally. I've only feeling ones and zeros.
yes, exactly. Your brain is simply telling you the presence of something touching your body, not actually experiencing it.
I am permanently a ghost inhabiting a vessel.
Exactly. You've been cursed. This is why you don't accept medical procedures from strangers, Igor. We've talked about this.
He grabs a knife and stabs it through his hand. No blood is really coming out. I feel the pain, but not really.
I don't even know who tells that.
It's trapped between two horrible people. What one of them is trying,
Not try. You both are equally capable, but Tate's clearly from the get-go been trying to make a Terminator.
It's just
I can mean like an actual, like maybe some cybernetics, but I
You would need to. Honestly, if I were in your position, I probably would have been on the same, even worse. I would have taken away the sentience, though.
This is fine. I mean, no one knows what his name does. Jigger is fine. He's not a robot. It's just that
he's a cyborg.
As we rolled, his nervous system was not connected to his body, and machine, in being ordered to create a nervous system, just starts to just put in gold wiring through his skin. Playing a mesh. You rolled a natural 20, but this is very funny. But keeping it's not gonna really mean anything.
so funny. It's just changed Igor's suffering from like.
You fully succeeded, it would ruin the joke about Jigor. I mean, he's a permanently suffering man. And then you just made he has a perfect body now. Okay, yeah, great. There's no more joke around Jigor now. When he walks into a room, it's like, okay, Jigor's here. But now the fact that he's also impermanent. Human.
Is this better?
equally are. They're both pretty much equally bad.
It's just one is imaginable, the other is not.
What have I done? You done everything Boglin's capable of doing. He's an engineer, not a doctor.
But can I see this? And I take the Tesla cannon and I like zap it at.
I'm gonna say this right now, as I also like. I am probably more mechanically minded than biologically minded, right? When it comes to like things like organs and stuff. So when I think about what I would do to like help someone out, I also think that like just replace all their organs with machinery because that's all I know. Like doing like organ transplants. I just think like I can just replace their liver with a dialysis machine. So that's how I imagine Boglin also thinks. Because he's a tinker tank, not a
Hey, Boglin, can I see this? And then I take the Tesla cannon and I fire it at Jigor and I say, "Did you feel anything?"
Yes. But no. Because it's like he's getting signals for like a processor that's connected to his brain. He knows there's pain, he doesn't feel the pain.
I hope you understand what this means for me, Jigor.
Yeah. There's a grid around his body, and each of the points he can feel pain and sensation. And it's from a range from 0 to 100. He knows the pain. He can register 100 all over his body, but he doesn't feel it. He just knows that there's 100 valued 100 all over his body.
Yes. Dr. Hahn? Yes. I'm afraid, Jigor...
Call me Bob Lachette.
Jigor will no longer be requiring your services. No, he's not dead. The worse.
Worse. He's sort of in limbo.
But, yeah, he's going to lose his sentience in like about a week, I'd say.
No, I kept his sentience. I made sure to keep his...
It's a natural process which happens.
Natural.
Well, it's an unnatural process, but that's what I think is going to happen.
This before.
So he's eventually, he's probably going to go into a self-induced catatonic state pretty soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. I'll tell him. Now, Jigor, this is the worst.
No, I shush Rukter.
Boglin.
He takes out he goes, "You want to go in the medical machine?"
Boglin.
I throw Rukter into the medical machine.
Boglin. I've never wanted to do this, but I do need your phone number, some of your personal information, your billing information.
You're sending him the bill?
No, you're going to be the new vet.
You're gonna pay him. You're gonna make money for the first time in his life.
Yes, exactly, Jigor. I've never wanted to do this.
I never wanted to do this. I want to pay him money.
Boglin, oh yeah, you don't have a phone.
All right. Email?
I'll just come get you when he needs his weekly check, his monthly checkup.
He walks out of the basement. Boglin is just sitting there in abject horror. He's still not used to having a normal hip. Well, quote unquote, it's normal.
He still walks with like a limp. It's just like on the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's not used to it. Yeah. Also, I love how he definitely not look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but malformed. You just chose to like reconstruct his face.
How much work did you do to the brain?
I kept it intact.
Ah.
Wink.
Jigor.
Yes.
Remember how your arms used to be different lengths?
Yes.
Remember how your legs used to be different lengths?
Yes. I'd kill Rukter. No, I shush Rukter.
Jigor.
Never
mind.
I say to Jigor, you are now a new person with new abilities. New person. You now are. You guys need to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because you guys are literally both the High Revolutionary.
You do understand what a homunculus is, right? The concept of one?
I just
It's the
imagine.
mapping of the brain. His is really fucked up. You gave him a normal body.
Jigor,
He's never gonna move the same.
Jigor, are you happy now? Are you happy? That's the main important thing.
I don't know how to feel yet.
Yeah, usually it's produced by glands which you took out.
She took out. Okay, I don't think you removed the brain. I don't think you really messed around with the brain too much. There's a couple wires going into it, but
Yeah, a lot of chemicals that
I've kept you
we used to
intact.
feel.
I've kept you intact. Your consciousness, your memories, everything. Everything that makes you, you.
okay, let's move on for the G.
I feel so bad now.
You just did that. You literally. I was joking about how you were gonna pull a RoboCop on Jigor, and you just did.
It also makes sense though, because you aren't a man. You should not be able to perform real surgery on him. But Boglin probably sees surgery as more like a car tune-up. It's like building a car, preparing after a car accident. Igor, who's Igor?
No, I said Jigor with a very silent J.
J.
I was like,
It's a G.
I was like, Igor.
Igor. I'm sorry, Gior. Okay, let's move on from G-Car.
We might need to go soon because I think once we get soon.
Oh, yeah, this was a very, I don't know what to think about this session. We did waste 2 hours getting food and getting car accidents.
The most mediocre Mexican food that gave Patrick the most severe.
And we came to a park to play a game and record a podcast.
So
This is a great use of our time.
Let's continue. Let's continue on.
Okay. So, the goblins come, right? They manage to escape their places and they convene in the factory. Do you want to go into the basement or anywhere?
Basement.
Yeah. They go into the basement.
No,
They,
nothing
they
about
see the laboratory. They see the used surgery machine and all the tunnels being actively digged by drones. And the factory lines building tanks. A lot of them are shocked. A lot of them don't know how to feel. A lot of them are ignoring it. Yeah. But like they're intermingling with each other, and they're like sort of like planning out what they're gonna do.
I call to them. I grab their attention.
He got a speech.
Did you pull up
Yeah.
a wiki article?
No, I'm pulling up a speech.
Mussolini speech.
See?
It's not a speech you would recognize.
Okay, so you just stole a speech from someone.
Yes.
It's definitely like a Mussolini speech.
No, it's not a Mussolini speech. It's not a Hitler speech.
So
Or
I can't wait for none of this to be anything Boglin would ever say.
Yeah, let's hear it. Speak into the microphone.
Brothers, sisters, fellow goblins, fellow slaves of this oppressive system.
I'm a dragonborn.
Well, are you part of this system? Are you enslaved by it? Are you oppressed by it?
Yeah.
Then you are, brother. Or sister. Or whatever.
Or goblin.
Immediately fucking
Revolution is coming, friends.
Is he the only Dragonborn?
No, there's tons. I think you guys misunderstand. It's not just goblins. It's all non-humanoids.
Okay. Well, that kind of knocked me off. Hold on, give me a second.
It's fine. Just continue going on. You're gonna have had
That
The
knocked me off
revolution is
too.
rapidly approaching. Our time of liberation is near. And to achieve this end, there must be sacrifice. Calm, kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I've made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15
Oh, fuck you. This is from Chernobyl.
No, it's not.
It is from Chernobyl.
It's not Chernobyl. I wrote 15 years.
Oh, it's from Andor.
Yes. 15 years ago, there's only one conclusion, that I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight.
7.
They've set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice. And I will help lead all of you, all of us, towards liberation.
Well, I don't know who this guy is.
I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them.
I saw him.
I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I will never see. And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience. Except you. I beg you, as a fellow person in bondage, I beg of you, all of you here, please, fight with me. Fight for freedom.
Roll. Thank you, Boglin. I like Star Wars too.
Charisma.
Oh, come on!
Add your charisma modifier.
0. Can I reroll?
What do you roll?
Can I reroll? Because I 5.
Yeah, I'll reroll, I guess.
I mean,
I was great.
I mean, it also. I mean, it also
5
was not a speech you wrote.
doesn't match you at all.
I use that as
I was never read poetry before.
15 years ago, I came up with an equation.
This dude's like 21. He's like 7 when he created this equation.
Do I convince them?
You rolled very, very low.
Rukter doesn't.
Okay, so
I'm going to.
I'm gonna say. Okay, I mean, this is what I'm gonna say. Wherever I roll on a D10, that's the percentage of people you convince. Right? No, what did I say? I would base this off of your speeches. Yeah, I said it was gonna be based off your speeches, not your charisma scores. I can see it as inspiration. I can also see how that doesn't match you at all, very visibly.
I mean, it doesn't match you at all. It also was talking about stuff that you'd never gone through. And, like, it was not a Boglin speech.
I'm gonna
But you lie all the time as Rukter.
I mean,
you convinced 45% of them.
Okay, I'll take 45%.
You can build from that. I'll have to convince one with that.
now, I'm going to get up. And I'm going to take off my hat, reveal my balding head.
Bald! He does that. Patrick does it in real life. He's also bald.
Patrick with a receding hairline.
I'm going to like throw my hat to the side.
I got his hat!
Do you just like eat a piece of G-Gore while I'm just talking? Or like...
He's chewing on a bone.
No, I meant that as the hat. The hat.
saying that speech. It just starts eating Igor's hand.
Okay, this that's not what I meant. So next time you guys call me a cannibal or my character's cannibalistic, this is you. This is your mind. This was not me. That was
you was really fun.
Very fun. Because you play into it for the first 10 seconds, and then you say, no. Okay, do your speech. I'm gonna walk around.
Hey, sit down.
No.
People of Gotham. He's not the hero we deserve. He's not the hero we need, but he's the one we deserve.
Him? Or you? You project your voice into the microphone and you go onto stage. Woo! Very corporate-like.
Many of you do not know me, but I served in the war to liberate this country, and I saw what Bog did. I fought to free this country once, and I watched as Bog tore it apart for his own selfish desires. He slaughtered, he enslaved everything that he believed was inhuman. I thought I could change that from the inside, and I was wrong beyond my years. There's a time for war, and I know how exhausted we all are. Families torn apart, lineages never to be known, entire generations forgotten, lost, because of one man's selfishness. I understand your suffering. I know your misery. And today, I come to you not with a lofty speech, not with a tale of heroism. I have a solution. This is the beginning of a revolution, a rebellion against Bog and his empire. Together we shall rise up. We shall tear this country apart and put it back together as it rightfully should be. All will be equal. All will be fair. We may not be able to take back all that was stolen from us. We can't get those lives back, but we can ensure not a single more needs to be taken. Rise up with me, brothers and sisters, and join in rebellion against this horrible dictatorship.
Okay. Patrick gets.
We shall supply you with tankettes, with weaponry, with machines. I am a master of chemistry. I shall provide super serums. I've even developed a cure for cancer.
And I'm going to bring up the 30 goblins which I cured.
Earlier today, this man, Gertrude, had no arm. And today, thanks to this, thanks to this, he is 5 years younger and has both arms. I can heal and I can provide weapons and life. Thank you.
And then I'm going to wave over to the factories.
Over there, you can see tankettes being produced. Currently, we are working with
What is the name of the Twins organization again?
I don't have one.
Sure.
They work for the one who sees all, but they don't have an organization's name.
Right, I'm not going to say the one who sees all.
It's like,
Sauron?
Why are you taking credit for my tankettes?
he's not.
Oh.
He's saying, I will provide.
I will provide.
Yeah. By the way, those tankettes were mine.
I can make all of you the cyborgs. Like him.
If you look at G-War,
I can make all of you human.
so let's see how well I can roll. I don't need to roll?
No, I said that on basis purely on your speech and your performance. Patrick, I say you get like 100% of them. They all start cheering. Fuck. Hey,
He didn't. He improvised a good speech. You did and/or speech.
I also majored in theater.
Yeah. I think it's a Tate just did a.
I thought it would be funny. I thought it'd be funny to be like, oh.
But you also stole a speech that it was not addressing people.
course.
You did a speech that was addressing a single person when a guy was being accused of why is he doing this? Why is he fighting against the government? Well, you're trying to rouse people.
It's
So I'm fucked, basically.
Fucked. You just didn't do as good as Rukter did.
Well, he got 100%, so that means, like, if push comes to shove, 100% will come to his aid.
Okay, that's not what it means. That means 100% of them agree with your speech and like you.
Yeah. A lot of them just didn't know who you were.
If they see the man who has, like, helped continue their enslavement, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't know that. And he told them stuff. You just went, I saved! You didn't even say that I will provide you weapons, I will provide you health, I will build you an army. You just said that 15 years ago, when I was 5 years old, I came with an equation. I'm banned for what I did.
I honestly, like, forgot that I didn't want to put that part in, because it didn't make sense. I, like, knew that didn't make sense, but for some reason my brain decided to put it in.
You should have written a speech about Boglin. You should not have stolen it from someone else. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just redo your speech if you want to. Because
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Boglin would just pull out a piece of paper from a TV show. Start reading it.
And then I'm gonna say also. I'm gonna go back, and I'm just going to say, I'm gonna give a second chance. You're lucky that they're not rich enough to afford TV.
Go, like, punch down. This is the real height comparison.
For once, Patrick is
You're
actually
lucky
taller than
enough.
me.
You're lucky enough that they can't afford TV.
And that I need you.
And that I need you. Do not. You're going to get a second chance to tell a better speech. We are not by the microphone at all.
It's picking you guys up.
You are going to get another chance to say something else. But I just wanted to defame you in front of everyone. This hurts the revolution so horribly. To see that the two leaders of it hate each other. You understand, right? Boglin. I feel like
It is a good speech. This does not make any sense.
Speech.
It just doesn't make any sense in this context. It doesn't help you.
How does that relate to you?
The equation is I'm damned for what I do, that nothing I... The equation that he's referring to is that all the work I'm going to do won't ever make my life better. It'll make someone else's life better after I'm already dead.
Good luck to you, Lando.
But it also is not true. You want to do your nervous speech now?
You just run back up to the microphone.
I'm gonna say Tate's speech is not canon.
Yeah, that's not.
You're gonna say something different.
I'm sure you
I should look for things to haggle you about. I couldn't find a single one. So that's also a reason why I gave you 100%. Tate just said, "I'm Boglin and Goblin kind." What was my goblins?
To be fair, either
This concept that you guys both have is, even though I've said multiple times there are dragonborns and goblins and people, you guys are just focused on pure goblins.
Because Mahmood, I knew that if I were to lie and say that I never had any place in the dictatorship, then they would immediately be questioning me.
That's the guy who did the. That's the guy who created the cloud of death.
That was Vulture. Which
He
technically,
ordered me to do it.
Bog has gone on. We were told multiple times before that Bog has gone on record and claimed responsibility for just about every single one of my
Yeah,
actions.
that's 100% true. I might
So,
need more time to
literally,
think over an actually good speech.
You could just try improvising. Try improvising.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible at improv.
Dude, this is an improv game.
It's a completely improv.
Okay. Practice. Sit down and then do your speech. Also, another thing, when you were doing your speech, you completely ignored us. You weren't talking to us. You were
I
talking
was
to
actually
me.
impressed.
Well, we were just going.
Yeah, because you guys were going fucking crazy in the background.
Okay. Boglin goes on the stage. He grabs the microphone from Rukter. And he speaks thus.
I'm not a man of importance. A man of anything of note. A man who has been oppressed by the same system that oppresses all of you. All of us of different races which this system considers lesser, weaker, worse. But we are here to prove them wrong. We are here to change the status quo, to change the system of oppression, of violence, of degradation, of segregation. We are here to break free of our chains of enslavement, to become liberated. And my friends, I give you this promise today. I, Boglin, will fight with you, will help liberate all of you. We will not stop until this regime is gone, buried, lost to time and ashes. I will stand with you. I will sacrifice with you. I will bleed with you, and if necessary, I will die with you.
Who are you?
I, like all of you, was a slave to the system. I worked in the engines. I built for this war machine, forced to by those in charge, those who ordered us to build their mechanisms of destruction, to do their dirty work, to continue their oppression. But I decided to throw away my chains, to end the cycle. And that is what we all should do. We need to break away from our chains, break away from the cycle. We need to rise, and rise against those who continue to oppress us, no matter what.
Who are you, Vo?
I literally said that I was Boglin.
Yeah, I know your name. Like,
I'm not saying this as part of the speech. I'm saying this is...
yeah, like,
Your place.
yeah. What? You're just saying you're gonna suffer with us. Who are you? You're just a normal guy.
You're fucking up my speech!
What are you gonna do?
I mean, he's gonna supply his arms.
I'm not through the speech! I'm improvising, you fuck!
I was about to say, okay, I walk up to the stage and I take it from him.
And that is why we are here.
The end.
Up here before you, you see tanks. Tanks that I'm building that we can use to overthrow our oppressors. Weapons are being produced to overthrow our oppressors. Oh gosh.
This is Boglin Boglin.
No, on stage. Why the invasive?
He's sweating.
We have tunnels digging into deep parts of the city for us to arise from and strike without warning. The power plants shut down. The government weak and frenzied. They know they're losing. And they've known it for a while. And we will be the spark to ignite that tinder in order to cause the inferno of revolution. So fight with me, my friends. Fight for freedom.
Something enough. Oh, the Mexican food.
How many was it?
Huh?
How many?
It could be.
I would say
Probably a little less.
it would be more than your last speech. The thing is, you did ramble on to say, "I will sacrifice."
I told you.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hold that against you. High 60s to low 70s.
Okay, that's fine.
So, now that introductions are out.
Another guy goes on the stage.
now that
They all think they're also going to do speeches.
now that introductions are away. Rukter, I am Rukter, and this is Boglin, as you know. The power outages recently are due to the explosions of our 2 power plants. That was due to a covert mission both me and Boglin carried out. I jammed and caused the subsequent explosion. I jammed and caused the explosion of the dam's generators, and we personally went to and destroyed the generators within the... What was the other one? The coal burning
Coal
one?
power plant.
The coal power plant and the water power plant were both destroyed.
Burns water.
The coal power plant was personally destroyed by us. We encountered a vulture along the way and killed him as well. We have seen success, and we are coming ever closer to the final day. So, we ask for you and your manpower, for your strength in this brand new revolution, to spread the word, to expand this base. We are growing. I would like to call all those with combat experience. Actually, first, I would like to wait for their response to the call to arms that I just said before I start organizing them.
They're all excited. None of them are excited. No, a lot of them are excited. There's only like, oh, yeah! Yeah! A lot of jumping. You see a lot of people just going, they're ready. Like NPCs. Like
They're doing
the
the
environment isn't rendered.
like the FIFA, like the
Yeah. They're all 2D. Gross. So more less detailed. Like rows 3 through 5 are just going. They're going.
and then by like
Row 6 is going. It's jumping pretty in the air,
and then by row 10 it's just like nondescript shapes.
it's like 2D covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys, my brain can't handle the RAM.
So, I would like all those with military and combat experience to review our stockade of weaponries and munitions. Those with medical experience, doctors, medics, surgeons. I would like you to meet me in my lab.
If you have any engineering or technical experience or experience in crewing vehicles or operating as
I'm sorry, but you're going to work into the factory.
No, the factory's all automated. I'm teaching them to crew tanks.
Yeah. And yeah.
If you want to learn how to drive, come with me. All right, I can't. I can't.
So nothing, you know, it says that.
Just can't.
No one says that.
No, I know that. I know that.
I have the same problem. Don't worry.
Everyone else?
Your voice is also changed.
Sorry.
You're like Saruman. Lollipop. Lollipop.
Now, everybody else, those who have no experience either in those who do not have the experience in combat, medicine, alchemy, tinkering, engineering, or any of the sort, do not worry.
We will
You can
teach
be
you
trained
these skills.
and taught. Don't interrupt me. I'm hearing. You will be trained and taught. Head to the area where you feel most comfortable.
They're looking around. Tell us where the areas are. You said if you have these skills, we'll do this.
The military stockade. The military stockade.
So this walking aimlessly
No, I did. I said the stockade.
to each other.
I said if you have any military or combat experience, go to the military stockade. Go to the weapon stockade.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm messing with you. Take come back. Okay. So you're done with your speech, right?
Yes.
People start getting like, yeah, whoa, let's do this. They take out pickaxes and just you just hear like as like rapidly this cave is expanding outwards and it's building rooms and hospitals. You see some people just start welding together missiles. We're building an army. Underneath, like a patrol is just going by, and they just hear underneath. They're like, yeah. You see a bunch of chemists start rushing into your room and start making chemicals. Stop it! Stop! And when you guys are like alone, the twins appear.
I look at them, both rings on one finger. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is yours. Explain to him.
Communication rings. That's not their accent. They are communication rings. We are French. Good speech. They all clap.
I thank you.
It's not on the microphone. We all need to do it. Appearing on the mic. Maybe like this, or like maybe in the distance. There's one bar.
Well, it's good to see you two again. So, your tanks are almost ready.
We didn't order any tanks.
Wait, which
Tanks?
which?
You got a tank?
We have several tanks. What does
I would like to order. What kind of tank? Let me see the tank.
They're tankettes.
The tankette or a tank?
Well, didn't we have to
We
get?
have both.
Didn't we have to get 50 tanks?
Yeah, that's from Boglin's roommate's request.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have metal and tankettes.
Oh.
My design.
We will order 50 of each.
50 of each?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a lot more scrap.
Now, before we supply you further, I would like to know more about the one who sees all. But first, I would like to ask, so you've appeared before us.
Yes.
Is there something you require?
The one who sees all wants to talk to you.
Just the man that was just the man I was about to ask you. Just the man. I was just about to ask about him. I'd love it.
Good. He'll meet you tomorrow at your home. At your home.
I love how they're just focusing entirely on me and just ignoring Bog. both in game and like out of game. Just just do not care about Boglin at all. They're purely talking to me, which makes me think that they are like a government, like organization. They're part of the government in some way.
You both level up.
Yes! 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 Oh, it's level 7! Both level 7!
Wow.
Actually, I'm gonna be nice to you guys. You guys level up 2 levels! Yeah. Okay, I think we need to leave.
So now, about what we talked about. So, Tate, I'm very sorry, but your body is starting to atrophy.
Okay, great! To activate Project Phoenix. Wait, are you killing me now?
No, I'm not. He's joking.